wherever and whenever you are, and welcome to the next installment of our fantastic one-shot roulette shenanigans. A huge thank you to everyone who's already here. It's a pleasure to have so many of you wonderful people over there in chat already. I would shout you all out, but that would take up our entire session. So just general group love to you all. Heart. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, and also let me shout out and say hello and thank you to the wonderful players that we are joined by today. Going around anti-clockwise from myself up here in the corner. Hi, I'm John from Phoenix Ueki, and below me we have Josh, the dreaded GM. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello, hello. And then going around the screen there we have our own Mirren. Hi, Mirren. Welcome, welcome. Okay, don't worry, folks. We will be getting all the details about characters and all that stuff coming up very soon. And next along, we have Michael. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello. And over there, next, we have newest friendo, Scarlett. Hello.
Me?
Yeah, that's you. Hello. And going up around the other side, we have the fabulous Patch from Question Keys UK.
Greetings and salutations.
There he is. And last but certainly not least by any measure, we have the wonderful Elle, also from Dreaded GM. Hello.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. All right, everyone, let me just check I am not blasting you with the music. No, it's not too bad. Hooray. Okay, I can probably even turn it up a little bit. Okay, so let us get into things here. I wanted to say a massive thank you to that logo that you can see in the middle of our game screen that's up there. The wonderful, wonderful CZRPG has sponsored this one-shot for today, and all of you lovely people will have the chance to get your hands on a copy of the timely Encounters in the Feywild. Yes, released in good timing with Wild Beyond the Witchlight. You can have a chance if you enter our giveaway, which I will start right now. Please exclamation mark enter in the chat once this is started. Just a moment, please. Boom! Okay, there it is. Do jump on in there when you would like, and at the end of the one shot we will decide who is the lucky winner. Whisper Rain. Okay, you're in there first. Okay, jump in there, folks. Jump in, and we shall see who is the lucky winner at the end of tonight, this afternoon, or this morning, wherever you are. Now, let us not only say a massive thank you. Actually, let me just do a quick shout out. This is probably not a good thing to do when everyone's jumping into the giveaway, because it'll just disappear off of the chat very quickly. But
Yeah.
let me just do a quick CZRPG. Don't worry, the entries will be open the whole session, so hang up for a second. There it is. Okay, yes, CZRPG is a multiple DMs Guild bestseller, has lots and lots of fantastic articles and supplements and rules and all kinds of things, and is the author of our next campaign, Chacenta's Tyranny. We will be starting that, yes, in a full-on collaboration with CZRPG on the 22nd of this month, just a few weeks away. Patch is dancing over there because he will be in that campaign. So do join us for that. Cannot wait to get into that proper. We'd also like to say a massive thank you to the lovely folks at Sirenscape for enabling us to pipe music and sound effects both to you and to these players, even though they are scattered all over the globe. Today we have, let's think, Japan, Australia, Vietnam, and England. A nice selection here. And yes, you can also get the chance to head on over there, Sirenscape.com. Epic games deserve epic sound, and you can try them out for free. And if you wish, you can become a Super Siren subscriber and get access to all of their stuff, even if your games, be they in person or online like ours. And there he is. Hello, CZ. Welcome. Thank you so much. Thanks for that stubbornness. And now let us continue on here. Oh, thank you. And Sirenscape has very good timing like that, so it's one of the reasons we recommend it so much. We would also like to give a massive shout out to the other sources of music which we like to employ. Thank you, Melon Shrimp, fabulous. And we can, hang on just a moment here, give a massive shout out over on YouTube, the incredible channels Dark Fantasy Studio, Travis Savoy, and Epic Journey. Wonderful sources of music for use in your projects and games. Let me do a quick little thing over here in chat for our socials. If you head on over to our YouTube page and look at the information on any of the VODs, you can get links to those fabulous channels and access to that music for your good selves and games as well. Now, That said, I do not want to dally too much because I want to jump right into whatever this is. I cannot give you more information than that, I'm afraid, because I don't know. And neither does anyone else here, because the characters that you see here, Enidin, Ergotin, Oxton, Tamagri, Tumazur, and Grisadi, are the only thing that we have so far generated. Everything else, the location, the plots, the twists, anything that's going to happen is going to be... Oh, Sunblighter, thank you so much. You absolute legend. Thank you.
Was that Sunblighter?
Another one that we were able to summon by every time in Icewind Dale they went to Sunblight Fortress. Sunblighter was just like, woof. I see you. Okay, now let us continue here. Thank you so much. Oh. Hype trained up at level 3 already. Thank you so much. Wow.
Yeah, let's go.
Sudden hype train is sudden. Thank you so much, you wonderful people. Okay. Yes. Fluster me even more. Thank you so much. This is what we need. Okay. So I am going to let these people introduce their characters and who they are once we get things going. But we need to figure out one or two things. Let us see where we are going. I'm going to bring up, sorry folks, you're going to disappear for a moment behind this little graphic. Boop.
Dun, 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 dun.
Except for CZRPG. Keep the sponsor. That was not intentional, but that works nicely. Okay, Patch, get out of there. Get out of there. Okay.
Patch. Go.
Play, Nerd Eyes, thank you so much. All right, folks, here we go. These are locations. Feast your eyes on our new, improved, and enlarged list of locations. We're going to go full D20 today. We have Prismia, the Domain of Delight from Wild Beyond the Witchlight, the Underdark, Mintan, Pirate Paradise, Icewind Dale, Ravenloft. If you roll Ravenloft, there is a second table for which Domain of Dread we're going to. So we shall see. Elturel, Sharn, Avernus, Skullport, Theros, Bytopia, Kalimshan, Humblewood, Saltmarsh, the Phlogiston, Garden, Sandpoint, Waterdeep, Sigil, or Baldur's Gates.
I like the idea of garden as someone's garden.
Yeah.
Is there in the deck chair?
Casually perched in the petunias.
Can I help you?
Hello, dears.
Now,
What are you doing to my potatoes?
I was already planning on doing this, but as they are also the only one that's on camera at the moment because they're not behind the graphic, that also works out very nicely. First time on our channel, which I get kind of. Oh, thanks, Red. Which I guess Scarlet, on stream is our first time. Excuse me, as my voice cracks in panic. First time on stream, but not first time playing with me on the channel here. As such, L. Yes, me and you, we are on camera. So, please, would you do us the honor of rolling a D20, just a straight D20.
Would you like it on D&D Beyond, or would
just
you like
dice is fine. Just dice is fine.
Oh, I have so many.
Oh.
Yes.
I now understand why you're asking.
Okay, let's pick. All right, beautiful person in chat at the moment called Soteris. I'm going to roll your dice.
Hey, Teres.
See what you bring, Soteris.
Hails.
Where are we going?
4.
A 4. Okay, we are heading once more. We've been there once this week already. We are heading back to Icewind Dale, into the frozen north. Fantastic. All right. First time on one-shot roulettes that we have this location. So we are heading there. Let me get this out of the way here. And it wasn't Ravenloft. Yay!
Don't forget to pack a coat. And
All
maybe,
right, folks.
Well,
maybe
actually,
like at
about
least
that.
30 mittens, maybe 4, depends.
About that.
Let me change our background then. Boop. There we go. It doesn't show up very much. That is Icewind Dale, trust me, everyone. Okay, so let us head on up there. There are some other players on Phoenix Ueki's channel that are up there already. You may bump into them, who knows? There is an ex-one-shot roulette character of Marin's kicking around somewhere as well, I believe. So we shall see just what is going on.
Lord.
Now,
That would be fun.
yes, 'cause
nearby as well, I think.
all of our games are canonical. Everything is tied together in more ways than you can shake a stick at. So let us see what's going on here. Now, that is the location. We are going to Icewind Dale, but why? Why are we headed in that direction? dear friends, let us see here. And as I said, also relatively new to the channel, Scarlet. Not our first time
Yes?
playing together as me as DM, but our first time with you on stream. Thank you very much. Could you be so kind as to roll me a D10?
D10. All right. Whichever lucky bugger out of the bag goes first, I guess. Oh, it's the tip dice. Yeah. It is 1.
A 1.
It is number
okay, that's easy.
1.
The one right at the
Number
top
1.
here. Okay. Thank you. Noted. So, sorry if thank you very much, everyone. That's completed hype training. Thank you so much, you wonderful people. Enjoy your emotes.
I always get the derpiest dog hype emotes. What the
Let's
hell?
yours then.
Where's my puppers?
Derpy dogs.
But I want. But
So
I
many
want
doggos.
those.
I like dogs, I don't get the
Okay.
derpiest of dogs.
Okay, it's official. These are our sled dogs up in Icewind Dale.
Yes! All the hype. If you
Hell
manage to
yeah.
sub more and do more hype trains, we get more dogs to save our story butts.
That's actually what the one shot is just how many
We need
dogs
it.
we can find.
Pet all of the
That's
dogs.
a campaign. That's a campaign in itself.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to go around the overlay one more time. We're going to go the opposite direction, so starting with you, Elle, and going back around to Josh in the end there. Would you please describe to everyone watching and everyone around the table as well what is going on as I bring this down a little bit here? All of you, whoever you are, wherever you are, not whenever you are, that is decided, but whoever and wherever you are, you suddenly found yourself surrounded and engulfed in roiling purple mist, not unlike the boundaries of your tokens there on the stream. Those swirling dark purple mists rose up from the floor around your form, obscuring sight of everything that was in the immediate vicinity. And you heard a voice echoing through the mists, but you couldn't see from where or from whom, but you all heard the same thing. Hello? Is this working? I'm sorry, this is only the second time I've done this. I'm pretty certain. Yes? Okay, yes, okay, I think I've got it. Yes, I know it's that button, Jimmy, I know. Okay, now. Dear adventurers, we thank you in advance for your kind assistance in the task we have for you today. You, I hope are not averse to the cold, as you will be traveling to the frozen north, to the location of Icewind Dale. Maybe new to some of you, maybe not. We shall see. But we have need of you. We have need of all of you. And with that, the swirling mists are replaced by swirling snows. And you find yourself bitten deeply by a sudden cold. Perhaps much colder than where you were just before. Perhaps not. We shall find out. So let's go round the screen. Could all of you please tell me, who are you? Who are you playing? And where were they at? Not my usual line. Not where are they at right now, but where were they at just before these mists snatched them from their previous location. Okay? So, Elle, who is emerging from the swirling mists and snows?
Okay, I wrote something just before the stream to make
Wow.
sure that I really captivated what I saw Grassati to be. Just before the swirling purple mists. Wreathed in black cloths with copper highlights, Grisardi stands hunched over, his grey and navy feathers illuminated by the candlelight as he pulls over a ledger of names and dates beside him. Next to him, a large stack of old, dusty books. His beady black eyes seem a little mysterious, echoing tales of a darker past. His talon claws make a certain scratch, scratch, scratch across the wooden library floor. Talons covered in bandages, and what sight is seen is lathered in scars from fights. His beak, a light grey in nature, holds a small monocle at the end. As he pulls over the text, he whispers to himself, the smoke of the candle leaving an ominous scent within the room. "This is much trouble," he speaks to himself. He reaches for a large ornate feather, scribing the words "overdue" in red ink next to a name. Hunched over again, he grabs his large mace and wraps it and places it upon his back. Gah! Grusadi hopes that Butcher had learnt lesson from last time. Overdue library books. Grusadi must collect compensation. He stretches his long mortal wings, and an exasperated sigh he leaves, rolling up a large contract and holding it under his wing. The scratch, scratch, scratch heard upon the floor as he exits, but that's when the swirling purple engulfs him. He hears the voice and says, "Grosadi must travel much distance to collect compensation for overdue book." So that is Grosadi.
Okay. Apologies to the rest of you for having to follow that.
Yeah. Bang.
It's on you, Phoenix. Cheers. Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much, Elle.
At least I'm not next.
A pleasure to have you on the stream.
Oh, thank you.
As
I'm
I
so
knew
excited to be
it
here.
would be. Tumazur, who are you? Who are you playing, and where were they at?
All right, no pressure. So, hello, I'm Patch from Quest Junkies UK. You might have seen me on this channel before, playing a small little golden celestial holophant by the name of Lulu. You might have also seen me do a Barovian honey heist, which was a whole other thing. But today, I'm playing the role of Tumazur. Now, rather than describing what the appearance of Tumazur is, I figured I'd just show you. So,
Oh god.
Yes! Face rig, face rig, face rig.
That is
He even gets the arms.
Hell
Right?
Oh my god,
yeah.
it's arms.
amazing.
Oh wow, yeah.
That is amazing.
So, Tumazur is
So
a
It's
half-orc sorcerer rogue, which is two classes I've never played, so this will be quite something. And I believe that Tumazur is currently in some backwater town somewhere, in a tavern, having an argument with another patron. Not drunk. The other one clearly is very, very drunk. But as the mists, the purple mists begin to take him, he doesn't even register it at first because he's too engrossed in this heated argument. And another thing, lad, let me tell you something. Right? I don't want to hear another word about it. You think that dragons exist. Let me tell you something. It's a fairy tale. It's a fairy tale for children. Why is it so cold? And as he looks around, he's surrounded by a blizzard. And he just utters the phrase, "Oh, bollocks."
Thank you very much. Tumazur. Moving around. Another T. Tamagi.
The Tamagreatist. quite opposite to the icy winds that we are sent to. Tamagri, with their glistening silver feathers and fine, sharp black beak and dark eyes, is actually in the midst of battle. You see them weaving and dodging as dozens, if not hundreds, of their comrades are in the midst of shouts and squawks and screams as this terrifying roar echoes throughout the skies and the land and just sends out lightning crackling throughout the skies. You hear cuddle, and with adjusting their fine hat, they arch a javelin to thrust deep into the open gaping mouth of this strange dragon, like a weird amalgamation of dark and light and shadow and storm. And as they go to stab deep into its eyes, the dragon opens up their mouth, crackling lightning, and instead of crackling lightning hitting this poor beautiful Belfalco pescatore, instead there is mist. And as wherever Tamagri lands, they land and there is nothing, and they just unleash a cry so angry, so fierce, and very Italian. I am sorry, by the way, in advance.
So excited.
Noted. Thank you so much. Grisadi, I need you to be thinking about something as we continue around our overlay here. You mentioned scars and lots of battles. Give me a name and a race, if you will, later on when we're done with the intros, of an old rival. As we move on to Oxton, who are you playing, and where were they at?
So, I'm Michael, and I'm playing Oxton. He's a... how to describe Oxton? He's a Githari, and he... interesting thing, because as the camera kind of pans through to, like, as it's been going through the scenes of all this epic battles and epic moments of rushing in, there is just a peaceful forest scene. And all you can hear is... and it's just... but as you try and focus your eyes, you can't spot any... there's no person there. And all of a sudden, just at the last moment, you see a glitter of the mists just on the... hit one of the tree branches, and it's... nothing, and it's gone.
Noted. And emerging from the mists on the other side? What do the others see?
Well, I'm not sure if they have seen it yet, and I'll
Okay.
get to it in a minute.
Noted. Moving on round. Ergotin. Who are you? Who are you playing, and where were they at?
Right, so hello everyone, I'm Maren. You may recognize me also as Esmeralda from this channel, and a few other places as well. So I'm playing Ergotin, who is a Divine Soul Sorcerer with 1 level in Bard. As you do. So as the scene kind of clears, you see again a forest setting. You see her walking through. She's quite tall, spindly, a wood elf with red hair and these strange, pale, flat, grey eyes. She's dressed in all these various brownish leathers of indeterminate origin, with a set of bagpipes slung on her back, and she seems to have this stone finger slung around her neck on a leather thong. What she's doing is she's holding this large, very beautiful iridescent beetle, and it's just wriggling wildly. Its legs are going crazy. It's trying to escape, and she's just holding it calmly and examining it. And as she is pulling it up off the ground, the mists envelop her, and she gets pulled through. And as she feels this icy wind blast her, she looks at the beetle. She considers the wind, and she sighs in annoyance and says, "Well, it seems like your time to die has come somewhat sooner than expected." And she gently puts a finger on it, and its legs slowly stop. And she puts it in a pouch. She turns to everyone else who's there. She smiles and says, "Pardon me. Beetles are endlessly fascinating to me. They're as beautiful in death as in life, if properly dried. I am Ergotin, sorcerer and bard of rare talent." And she smiles and bows. And as she smiles and bows, all of you hear, as though from very far away, a crowd of disembodied wails and half-mad laughter just echoing her name, Ergotin, Ergotin, Ergotin. But she doesn't seem to notice.
Spectacular. And Ergotin, I also need something from you. If you
Okie dokie.
give me the name of another bard who trained with you in your childhood days, and anything else that you would like to say about them as we go around to Dreaded GM. Who are you? As if we all didn't know. And who are you playing?
Hi,
Which we definitely
hello,
don't know. I'm not sure if you know either.
And I don't know what I'm playing. I got the craziest build, and the character was two here, two there, and one here. It was kind of a crazy amalgamation, but something very happened.
I'm just sad nobody got 5 level 1 classes. Hasn't happened yet. Where were you at?
Okay, all right. So where are we? We are in a city known as Vasselheim, in a place known as the Cobalt Vault. This place is an apex of knowledge and collection and books and whatever you can think. So much of the environment is packed with books and spines and tomes and scrolls and whatnot. For some reason, my character is a part of this faction that champions knowledge. And to that end, my character has very much taken the time to learn a great many things, dabbling here, dabbling there. And they've always had this sense of rage that they've never really known where it's come from. So they stand in this chamber, laden with books, tomes, and scrolls, and there is some sort of person in charge there. They seem to be dressed in the same attire as my character is, which is Enadon. Enadon. People have been going missing all over the lands. For some reason, there is this random voice that speaks to them and summons them, whisks them off to some multi-planar adventure. Inconceivable! Really? Really? Yes, it's not inconceivable at all. It quite is. It's very inconceivable. The multi-planar adventures. Do you know what? This is the place where the Mighty Nine have and Vox Machina. Multi-planar. Why would anyone want to go anywhere else? Inconceivable. Yes, this is why I must. And then suddenly the voice is heard, and then the cold is felt. Inconceivable. Where? What? You! He points to one of the people that is present. Who would it be?
Who would it be? You choose.
Roll the dice.
Roll, yeah.
I'm going to point at the Aarakocra. You see this little gnome bound up to you, wearing the colors of the Cobalt Soul, light blue with dark blue as well. There's scroll cases to the side as well. And he has this big, elaborate hat it's very much bigger than him. Who are you? Hello?
Which one?
You.
There's 2 guards, mate.
So Grassati leans down, hunches over further. You can see that the back of him looks as though it spent many years hunched over. He kind of looks down and says, I am Grassati. Who are you? Tall as a mouse, perhaps.
You call me a mouse? A mouse? Inconceivable! How rude of you! I will not speak to you. I'll go over to you. And let's go with Scarlett's character. I'm gonna ignore the one that called me mouse. Mouse, can you believe it? Hi, hello. Maybe you will be more mannered.
You see Tamagari raise themselves up after stabbing into the snow with both of their javelins. Both of their javelins, and there is this streak of blood just across the edge of one side. Big giant black beady eyes stare at you, and they're like,
Nope. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Wait.
Take me home. I don't want to be here.
I said wait, and then stab. The spear goes directly next to your side.
Hey! Oh.
Where's the draggy?
The who?
The Draghi.
I do not know what you're talking about. The draggy?
It is tall, big leathery wings, breathes
Everything is
lightning,
tall to
fire,
me.
whatever.
I was just called a mouse. Everything's tall to me. That's not a point of reference.
They pull the spear up. Guts. Have any of you
You're calling me
seen...
blood. You're calling me a mouse.
It's not mine.
Why have you brought me here?
I didn't.
We did
Then
not
why did
bring
you bring me here? Then why did you bring me here? I point to another character.
I say, like at this point, you also like Termazer, you definitely notice that your back is shaking.
Did someone spike my drink? What's is
As,
this
like,
some kind of prank?
as he turns round, all of you guys can see is an absolutely frozen, snow-covered koala bear attached to his back.
What did the...
Yeah.
Get off me! What is this? What is this?
As you pull your hand towards, you just feel absolute pain as this very cute little koala bear just and just bites down on your hand.
Oh my god!
Oh, wait, 2 seconds.
I'm gonna. Oh.
Yeah, give me a second. Yeah, it's all good.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
only when my
shit.
camera was going up and down.
It's just so excited.
Yes.
Timizer
always
immediately drops some rolls in
Just
the
arrived
snow.
here.
It's moving up
Sam.
the country.
So
I can feel it.
So fit.
Yep, there it is.
It's going through us.
Japan, man. Japan.
I
Japan.
can't wait for it to get to me.
Quite some time.
So yeah, you've just been bitten, and now, like, as you're shaking your arm, there's a koala bear, like a very vicious, angry-looking koala bear, holding on by the mouth to your arm.
I'm gonna thrust it into the snow.
Like,
I stop running away from the party. Everyone's scary. I've been called a mouse. There's a bear attacking another one. I'm out of here.
Can I attempt to launch the koala bear off my hand towards anything?
yeah, I can say, as you do, like, there's this moment in the air, and just as it's about this little bear's about to hit him, all of a sudden, and he just gets a massive gith just lands on him as I come out of what held shape. I'm sorry there, chap. Are you quite all right? Sorry, that was a bit shocking. That's all. My apologies.
No, I'm not all right. I'm very confused. I cannot conceive anything that's happening right now. I'm cold.
Yes, it is incredibly cold here. It's disgusting.
Don't you know that within the hour we don't have any proper gear? We're going to take points of exhaustion.
Egerton
Little
looks at you.
mouse.
And
Little mouse.
Tommy
You
Mouse,
come over, you-
one more time, you suck your feathers.
Well, that is just
You
right.
use cloak. Cloak is good for keeping warm. And she sort of, Grassati turns his sort of hulking figure towards the other. Try to be nice. It never works.
Called me a mouse. Do I look like a mouse to you? I say to the gift. Huh?
well, you are very small. She walks over to you and she touches your cloak gently, and she
I don't
casts.
have a tail. I'm not covered in fur. I wish I was, but
You're
I'm
small
not.
and weak. She touches your cloak and she warms it for up to an hour. She casts prestidigitation on you.
Hey.
Nice.
Aw.
And as this is all going on, and all this tumultuous meeting is happening, out of the swirling snows, with something much larger looming beyond them, you see a small, hunched figure walking with a tall cane, with something small, feathered, and twittering angrily on top, as a forest gnome approaches you across the snows of Icewind Dale, as you see on our map here. You're in the western area of that map there, to the west of the Ten Trail, the main route through the Spine of the World Mountains, heading into the Ten Towns region. And as this figure comes towards you, their long grey beard being blustered and blown about by the northerly winds, they hail you in that same voice that you heard through the mists.
A fellow gnome. Watch out, they're going to throw...
I've already thrown my javelin directly right near him, please.
Now, it's quite alright.
Directly in front.
It's quite alright. Everyone calm down. I'm sorry. It's something new that we're trying. It's slightly disorientating, I know. But, we wanted to get into the thick of things right away. My name is Arafor Tan. And you, my friends, have a mission ahead of you. A mission from the Jarls themselves. And he gestures behind him to what you see in the blustering snows and the mists of Icewind Dale as humongous thrones sitting in a ring atop a snow-covered hill from which Arafor Tan is descending, with scores of black ravens circling above them. Marin and Michael have been here before in a different guise, in a different area of the multiverse. And
I'm like up looking at the runes on these like thrones. I'm like, hello.
Still very far away.
Ah, okay.
But
Squinting really hard.
Arafor Tan points over, and there's a bundle of packs and furs and things. Any Don, I believe. Yes. I believe you may wish to partake of some of those. And there is winter weather gear for you all. And as you quickly don it all, he's like, I'm afraid there's no time to waste.
Have you got anything for a bite mark? It's bleeding quite a lot.
I'm incredibly sorry about that. You gave me quite a fright.
Suck it up, you'll be fine. Now, as I said, the Jarls are awaiting your presence.
I have no idea who these Jarls are, and I have no idea who you are, and I have no idea who these people are, and you want me to go on a mission? I appreciate the warm clothes, but I must say I refuse.
Let me put it simple. It's very easy. It's very easy. The Jarls and myself will be very grateful once the mission is completed.
I
and
don't
that's
care how grateful
gratitude.
you are.
That's
I'm
gratitude.
Sorry.
I know Jimmy is
away
quite
from
rude,
my
isn't
plane
it?
of existence, and I've been attacked by bears.
Other javelin.
It's inconceivable.
The other javelin lies right next to Enidon, if possible.
Mm-hmm.
Just right next to him.
Wise not to stand in front of javelin. It be sharp.
I must say, ever since I've got here, nothing but hostility.
Because I came from the middle of a war.
What?
A war.
Do not worry, Tamagri, and we shall send you back to your war. There's nothing.
War?
You'll barely miss a beat. And you too, Enidon, you have travelled the furthest, I would warrant. Yes, our gratitude will take the form of a return ticket, shall we say.
So you kidnap, and then you return. How is that kindness?
Oh, I didn't say I was being kind. I just need you to do this thing for me.
I raised the javelin again.
I am going to say this, fellow gnome. I will not do any mission for you until you explain why you are taking people from our plane of existence. The kobold foe has noticed your infringements on our plane of existence, and we're coming for you. So, right? And you understand how important our heroes are. They are some of the biggest heroes in all the multiverse.
I'm sure they are. Now,
they're coming for you.
They're a very long way to travel, and plus, I do not tend to stick around in one place for very long. I'm a very busy fellow. Speaking of which, I must get back to Bitopia. Now, all of you, make your way up the hill. Further details at the top, and all shall be made clear. Come on, Jimmy, let's go. And then the bird just like puts its wings up. It's like
to Enidon?
Enidon, yeah.
What is this? this? I don't understand this. I'm very confused. Thank you for the warm clothes, though. I do appreciate that.
Enidon, if there's one thing that you should have noticed right now, it's clearly do not mess with the birds.
Both javelins back.
Grisati just sort of like shuffles in posture a little, and you can just see like all through their talons on their feet are just like scarred as they like lift their foot up and then place it back into the snow. It sinks deeper in.
I'd like to think Tamagri like turns to you and like.
They have an understanding.
I have a very superior intellect, and I have quantified all my ability scores. I understand what I put my points into in way of class and all that. And I have 1 point in barbarian, and you would not like to see me when I'm angry because I go into a rage, and it's not very nice. So.
Arafortan also looks over his shoulder. Not intelligent enough to realize that you are a fated one, and destined to be here.
Well, tell me more.
They will.
From the Kobo Soul. I would. Who?
He points back up to the points up to the thrones.
The faster we get up there, the
I start
faster it's
crunching
over.
towards the yards. I don't get answers.
While all this is going on, Timazur's just stepped to the side, just to sort of like for a hot second. He's like, "Yeah, nice one, Timazur. Yes, go out for a drink, you said. Just one, you said. It'll be fine. Don't have a conversation with the lunatic at the gym. Don't end up in the freezing cold through a purple mist. I'm sure it's fine. Yes." Oh, bollocks. And then I'll just continue following the group.
Okay.
I like you. I'm gonna stick with you. You haven't thrown anything at me yet, or called me a mouth. In fact,
I threw
by
I
them.
threw a transforming koala gift, said I, at you.
That was you? Ah, damn it.
That
Can I get
was
them with the
me.
gift?
Technically, I haven't
Hello?
thrown anything at you. I was thrown at you.
Yes.
Important distinction. Okay. As you're having this conversation, trying to decide who Enidon does not hate, you make your way
He just hates everyone.
up the hill towards these looming, impressive stone thrones in this circle at the top of the hill. And who is in the lead here?
Alright.
I guess I'm moving at a slower pace, so if you guys
I'm not a very fast bird, but I am like stomping. I just want to get back to war.
When I get back to war.
Okay.
Looking at everybody's hit points at some point, I think I might have been the tank at the end of all of this.
Oh yeah.
We shall see. We shall see. Okay. So, Grisadi, you're going to be leading the way.
Yeah, I can imagine Grisati sort of just like shrugging off Enidon's sort of rambling rages, and then sort of like moves forward through the snow.
He's still going.
On one side, nerd rage. On the other side, another bird,
Bird
but
rage.
twittering about like dragons and just being like, to destroy every single one of them.
Under Grisati's breath, you'll be like, you would hear, just want to get book compensation. Just keeps trudging through.
Okay.
Barbarians.
Now, while we have a second here, let me just do this. Boop.
Who?
Boop. Okay. Sorry, I was just messing with the camera. Okay. Grisadi, do you have any details of that rival for me?
I do. So many moons ago, there was a person who entered the library that Grisati. Well, you could say Grisati is kind of a librarian. So they came in, they borrowed a book from Grisati in their library, and they were a Loxodon, which I love Loxodons. So the Loxodon came, they borrowed a book, dealer's choice for what that book might have been about, but they didn't return it, which meant Grisati had to go and get the book and receive compensation for how long. And this Loxodon got away. Grisati, it's been on Grisati's mind almost their whole life. It's the book that got away from the library.
Was it Papa?
Everybody poops.
It's Uncle Sensei from the Trolls.
All right, thank you. Now, as
And their name is Garak.
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 Okay, thank you.
That's a very familiar.
Now, I need for you, Ergotin, what was your bardic acquaintance?
Can it be my twin?
Of course.
Okay. It's my twin, who is as different from me as any person can be. So of course you would never like her. And yeah, so we rebels our entire lives. And she was always much more interested in helping people than I was. I really don't understand why. And always slightly better than me at everything, so there's a lingering resentment there. Yeah.
Not as good beetle collector though.
My collection is unrivaled, that's true.
Okay, what was their name?
That's her pouch. What is her name? I thought of a different name for something else, and then I changed my mind at the last minute.
Yes.
Jim.
What's that Urgotan? Jim. Dave.
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 Her name is Dave.
That
Jim
very,
Dave.
very popular wood elf name. Dave. Okay.
That was like an A and 3 apostrophes, though.
Note it. And finally, the fabulous Grisadi, if you could roll for me. Sorry, I'm trying to find. Yes, roll for me the D100, please.
Oh goodness, I haven't rolled one of them in a very long time. Oh my gosh, so long that I actually have to get them. I'll just roll on D&D Beyond.
No problem.
D100, go! 10!
10.
Woo!
Okay, thank you.
10.
10!
Noted. Okay. The book that this Garak borrowed and never brought back was 101 Ways to Scam, Trick, and Con People Out of Their Hard-Earned Gold.
So good. And so appropriate for a stolen book, my god.
Yeah. Like they clearly were like getting into chapter 2 and realize, oh, I could just take the book.
And Grisati doesn't like it when they read too much in the library, so...
And, sorry, Marin, Ergotin, I love the spelling of Dave.
Thank you.
So good.
That is exactly it. Okay,
Yeah.
so as you continue up here and you kind of tentatively make your way into these massive stones that are surrounding you, there is a shimmering in the air and ice blue spectres of gigantic frost giant jarls sitting atop these stone thrones appear and start to leer down at you. Da-dum.
Don't you leer at me!
Much like that picture there on the stream. And as they do, the one in the pride of place, looking to the north, leans forward, regarding you all. Are you those who were sent?
We were told it was fate.
And we were taken.
here we are.
Indeed, fated ones to aid us on this dark day. There is,
The dark?
in the mountains, to the south, a goblin fortress. You must head there and retrieve what was stolen from our vaults.
You're telling me that goblins stole something from you.
Indeed.
Vaults, you say?
That is inconceivable.
They are sneaky little bastards.
How old are these vaults?
Ancient.
Oh,
As
lovely.
The stones.
Oh, lovely.
Now, tell me, what do we get when we bring back these ancient things of yours?
Treasures. Or anything that you deem suitable reward.
I do like the sound of a reward. See, honey is much better than vinegar. See, yeah, this is much nicer than how I was treated when I first arrived.
It's
Sorry,
annoying.
I was so confused. I was like, which other character you started calling Honey?
It's like,
It's not like honey on feathers.
It's like, he
But
hates you,
wouldn't-
hates you until he loves you.
Oh, nothing.
If you were saying that we will be rewarded for this, then yes, I'm very much a fan
What if
of
you're,
this mission.
What if your reward is inconceivable and therefore you would not be able to receive it?
he has like a
Irreceivable.
point. Though.
Yes. Very. I like you. You're light switched on, and I appreciate that. But yes, anything that we want, really.
Indeed.
What happens if I said I want that throne of yours? Could I have that?
Anything that is not already belonging to someone else. You may have one like it, but you may not have this one.
Oh.
This one is mine.
Do you have anything that could kill a draghi?
If that is what you desire, maybe you can rid the frozen north of the great Arantress. I can never say that name.
And-
Sadi would settle for long vacation. No.
So
Wooden
this
cabin,
reward,
nice fire.
we just go to these goblins and get it back. That seems easy enough.
Why can't you do it though? Are you bound here? Is that the case? You can't leave your throne?
This is our place, and we do not leave. But fear not. The dogs know where to go. And as you look across to the side, there is a pair of sleds. Actually, no, we would need 3 sleds. Two of you to each sled. And each of them is pulled by, thank you, Sunblighter, a plethora of hype-trained doggos.
Hype train dogs!
That I would like from you, and it is a very powerful magic item. I'm not sure if you're able to actually grant it. You say that you will be able to, but I guess I have to take faith there. There exists a horn that I can blow, and then creatures, much like yourself, summon themselves and then fight for me. I would like that. To call on you when I need you most.
Then you must be successful. Please, bring back to us Andy.
Andy?
Is this a kidnap?
Andy is a...
Not as
One of the
such.
dog's names?
No.
Would
Is it another
Andy.
any of you be Andy?
Andy is our talking anvil. Andy the anvil.
Yeah.
We need him to forge such weapons and magical items, such as the one you desire, Enedon.
Ooh. Well,
See?
okay then. Just so you know, there's a pun there. A waffle iron, anvil. It's fine though. I'll just leave it. You know. It's too cold to think of
Forgive me for asking, great big spectral dude. Anvils, aren't they typically quite heavy? Like, how do we procure said Andrew?
These hype-trained doggos are blessed with great strength,
Right.
much more than their derpy faces suggest.
I mean, maybe that's why they're strong. Maybe the derpier the face, the higher the stat. I'll bear that in mind. Thank you.
It seems to be working for you, huh?
Have you heard of the whirling dervishes of the north? Deadly foes indeed.
Tell
Now,
me.
get you to Karkalok. Retrieve
Bless
Andy the Anvil. retrieve Andy, the anvil.
Retrieve Andy the Anvil.
Ciao.
Can't leave it just sitting there too.
Tamagri's already off. Just like
And
You've
as
got your
yes,
doggo.
you jump onto these dog sleds with the hype train doggos, a team for each one, pulling you very swiftly through the snows. And you go sliding swiftly to the south, towards the Spine of the World Mountains, and your destination, one Karkalok Fortress.
I think that.
Anyone-
Sorry.
Oh, anything new? Anyone? Any goblins? Anything? Ever dealt with them before? They're a bit new for me.
Well, it depends on the region. It depends on the plane of existence. The context matters. So
So-
I'm not quite sure exactly
no.
what these goblins will be. They
So-
could be giant goblins.
They will
For
be
giants
dead
to have
soon.
problems with goblins, that's interesting.
So new. Excellent.
They will be dead.
I'm just saying that your question is very broad.
I apologize for opening my mouth.
You're forgiven.
I'd like to think
Wasabi.
that. Sorry, no, you first.
Ooh, no, you go. You said it first. You said it
You
first.
sure? Okay.
Yes, 100%.
I don't- it's who la dozo who. So I think Tamagri is like full adrenaline junkie. That's like whoever is riding with them is in for a bad time because they're like shouting like. They're shouting, but I can't do it in Italian because I only lived in primary school. Like shouting to the dogs is like the equivalent of like go go, and the dog for some reason, hell yeah, we're gonna go. It's just like so whoever is on the back of Tamagri's, yes, I was gonna try and make a Millennium Falconry joke, but it didn't quite fit. Is just zoom.
Okay, noted. Thank you. Right.
I was just going to say, I like to balance that. I can totally see Grassati almost being like the old man with the old dog sleds, and it's almost like annoyingly slow. And Tamaragi has like zoomed past at one stage as well. To jump on what Oxton was saying as well, Grassati says, Grassati know of goblin work for library. They deliver coffee around about noon each day. Good folk, not particularly bright.
Now, do you mean figuratively or metaphorically? Because don't know with you.
Grassati kind of like looks down, and you can almost see like a jesting smile appear across their beaked face. They're not giving away what they say.
Who is riding with who, by the way?
Please.
Should we say
Enidon Oxton, right?
should we say Enidon is for comedic effect is with Tamagri?
Tamagri? Just like it's just like
Put the character through the ringer.
Slow down.
it's like so that's it's like getting there faster.
Why?
Because the faster we get there, the faster it is over. Go candy, go candy. And the faster I can go back to slaying.
I appreciate the pun.
I'm so happy you caught it.
Yeah.
Bless.
Okay, thank you. Now, as you are speeding through the snows here towards the Spine of the World Mountains, as promised, the hype train doggos do seem to know where they are going, and they are swiftly carrying you towards your destination. But as they do so,
Fast and the Furious!
you see from off to the side another set of sleds with equally powerful dogs pulling their owners in the same direction as a group of rivals, it might seem, are pulling up to you quicker than you would like them to. And as you are barreling across the ice and snow towards the mountains that are slowly emerging out of the gloom to the south, a voice hails you from across the way, from the other sleds and the people on those sleds. Let's have a look here. Hang on, 2 seconds.
This music is mint.
Yeah. The voice calls out.
Yeah.
I don't know why you even showed up, sister. Ever since I was revived, I've got quite the turn of speed. Yeah.
You're lying. How dare you? How dare you? I left you
And-
for dead in that temple. You should still be there. Jeez.
Ergotin. You see, leading the other group on the other dog sleds is Dave. Dave. The twin brother you left petrified in that Bastet temple in the jungles
I
of
still have your
Ongar.
Oh, nice.
I want that back too.
No.
And who is driving the dog sleds? Who's in control of the hype train dogs?
Definitely
Definitely.
I definitely want to be now. I'm shoving Austin out of the way to get in the front if I can.
Yeah, because I'll be on the same one as you then. I was like, oh!
Okay, so we've got Tamagri and Ergotin with Tumazar and Grisadi. Who's driving?
You like to drive.
I'm so polite about it compared to the other two.
I was gonna say,
You like to
what
drive?
about, what about Grisati was driving, but they were driving so slow, and that you got kind of like they were driving frustratingly slow, and then you took over.
Noted. All right. So, yes, you are hurling through the snow and ice here, and I need each driver to give me an animal handling check.
Oh boy.
Tamagri.
Yeah.
Oh, we shouldn't
Tamagri
have switched. We
with
should not have
advantage.
switched.
With advantage, Tamagri, because of your reckless nature, you do have the chance to get ahead here.
Hell yeah. Am I right? Like
I got
real
it.
dice or the D&D Beyond ones?
Your choice, doesn't matter.
I got a dirty 20.
Nice.
Ooh, that's a dirty 20. That's a nice dirty 20.
Animal handling. Oh hell yeah, 22.
Nice.
Natural 20.
Oh my god. For a total of?
Nice.
Yes. I fueled by my rage.
Marin, for a total of what?
20.
Oh, plus 0.
Yeah, I was thinking we should have switched. I'm really good at the animal handling. But
Alright.
didn't matter.
No, plus 0.
Okay. So, for an average of 20,
Hey.
Ergotin, your twin, I'm going to roll for them. Okay. Your twin got a 6. They're clearly... They're having a little trouble.
As always, the better one.
They're having a little trouble with the dogs and the reins as they're missing a finger. And you find
You flip
yourselves.
them off with their own finger.
Okay. Wow. Okay, you find yourselves pulling ahead of this rival team as you speed towards the mountains. Now, Enidon, is there anything that you would like to do? Any skills? Anything you would like to
Hell
bring
yeah.
to bear
I would
in
like
this
to-
chase?
Put my hand into my coat, and as I do, I'm like, come on. Warm my hand up just enough. I'm going to lean back, holding on to Tama, and then aim my hand back and go,
Yeah.
all right. And then shoot off a fireball with my handgun.
Okay, go for it. Roll me an attack.
Okay.
Picking up.
That will be a 16 to hit.
Alright, okay, so yes, your firebolt streaks across the blustery snow fields of Icewind Dale and just soars between the lead sled and the two behind it, spooking the hype train dogs of their following sleds, and they seem to veer off to the sides and lose some more ground. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Oxton, what are you doing?
So I just like kind of disgusting. It just like puts it in a pocket, pulls out, just throws twigs in front of their cart,
Okay.
and as like you don't, they kind of get lost in the snow. But just as their cart comes in, all of a sudden, like what should just be snow is actually turned into ice, as like a spike growth.
Heck
Right.
yeah.
So it's just
Heck yeah.
pure spiky earth, and it's difficult terrain, and anyone takes 2d4 damage going through it.
Okay, so yes,
Doggos.
these rivals. The dogs are smaller and able to nimbly dive between them, but they are slowed down by the difficult terrain half speed, and they lose more ground still. And some of the riders in the sleds yell out in pain as these long spikes of ice kind of catch them in their arms and things as they go speeding by. Grisadi. Grisadi, anything you'd like to do?
Oh gosh, after seeing them sort of pull all the way back, yeah, Grisadi's just going to keep a close eye out and prepare an action if they start to get ahead. Their wing kind of comes up forward, and then like their feathers kind of sharpen, and I'm going to prepare a dart attack towards the foot of the driver.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, okay. Ooh, maybe 16?
A 16 hits. Okay, so yes, the dart flashes across the distance between you, one of your favorite weapons, as it goes speeding between the distance between you and jabs into the ankle of the driver of that sled. They yell out in pain, and they almost. Hang on, I'm gonna roll. Okay, they manage to just hold on, but their legs fall off the back of the sled, and they're being dragged along behind it, and their feet digging into the snow slow it down even more. You are very confident that you are going to arrive at this goblin fortress way before any of these folks could. And you are way ahead of them, and they are disappearing off into the blustering snows behind you as the foothills of the Spine of the World mountains loom up above you. And as the dogs go hurtling down one of the valleys choked with snow and snow-laden pines, you see up on a ridge far down the length of the canyon here, you see a jagged spire of rock with very crudely put together walls and walkways strung between the natural rock formations, and you think that you have come across and you have found the fortress of the goblins.
Thank God for this powerful ride!
It's like Tamagori is just cackling in this wild fantasy version of Mario Kart Double Dash. It's like Fermakane, and then like as we slow down, it's just like attempts to calm the doggo who is at full speed, even though they just really want to just keep going and smash right in there.
Indeed. Okay, but yes, you do manage to get them under control, and you pull the sleds up over on the side behind a jutting shoulder of rock that comes down from the side of the cavern, of the canyon, and you are able to hide them out of sight, ready for when you need to leave this location. And as you do, carried on the winds, which are thankfully blowing towards you and not carrying the sounds that you're making towards the fortress, but instead you can hear the faint chittering and squawks and garbled conversation of goblinoids in the fortress beyond. So, you need to scramble up a little ways to get some altitude here up towards the fortress. How would you like to proceed?
Did the items that we got given include climbing tools at all?
They did not.
Javelin.
Inconceivable.
Stab.
Like carrying the body underneath you.
Don't you? You have a rope. As long as one of us gets up to the top.
How far up is this?
Let's see.
Roughly.
Here. It's like 500 feet.
Oofed. Okay, never mind.
That's more than all our ropes tied together.
Yeah.
I mean, there are.
Without-
I mean, this is an accessible fortress, so there are ways to get up there.
Is it like just like a big cliff, like a thing to climb?
Or is it like passageways
Yeah,
and
there are ledges and things that you could use to get up there. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna, without saying anything, just cast spider climb on myself and just start walking
Nice.
like, the side.
Nice.
Noted.
just like as he's about to do that, I just
Oh my god.
cast.
Take me with you. Like the koala. I'll hold on to your back.
That does not bring back fond memories. You promise not to bite me.
Yeah,
Silence.
And then I'll take the time to think about it. I promise.
I think what Tamagri is going to do is that Tamagri is going to take the rod, the immovable rod that got taken. It's just going to be a repetitive like climb, and every time they jump, they like click it in the air as they go up.
Okay.
It's gonna be so tiring.
If there, unless there is like, is there actually
Yeah.
like an elevator or something?
No, no, there is not.
I was like, you think guys all try that, and then the rest of us just go and take the lift up.
It'd be easier, perhaps, if you use the mage hand. Have you used the immovable rod? Could you use the mage hand to lift it up 30 feet at a time instead?
I don't believe I have mage. Do I have mage hand?
I do, though.
I do.
Oh,
Yeah, you can do that definitely.
Timothy will extend a hand
You're willing to
out
let somebody else touch it,
Aegon
though.
and say, "That was my honorary backpack.
well,
If you
thank you
bite
very
me,
much. That's
I shall
very
leave."
kind of you. Oh wow, they really did get you right. That's a pretty nasty bite.
It is. Pray there isn't a second one there shortly, otherwise I shall yeet you into the cold abyss. of
Please don't eat me. No need for eating. I'm very useful. I actually have a little bit of healing magic, so we can form an alliance, just you and me.
I'm sure it's fine. Just if you don't want the yeet, then watch your teeth.
Watch my teeth.
Words to live by. Okay.
Words to live by.
Yeah.
Are my infused items? I don't know how to
Okay.
officer.
Whip me away, please.
Walking up.
Is
All
the
right.
Very strong.
Now, if you look on stream there is a nice picture of this fortress. So you can see okay, as it looms up there above the mountain valley with the spine of the world even
Do
higher.
we need to climb if there's a path that goes around that?
you're getting up to that. Up to
Oh,
that. and
sure.
then
Okay. It was like,
Yeah.
say, are we climbing down the side of the cliff just to crawl? Instead?
Right, it's the stealthy
Guys,
option.
climbing up that tower,
Oh.
like it's going right past the fortress, and we're like, bye.
All right.
Strong.
I'm so confused with how artificer works.
Okay, so as you approaching, how are you approaching this? Are you stealthing up to the
I
up to the
was
fortress?
about to say, like, I'm as we all kicked off, like as people were like, what shall we do? I quietly cast, so they don't think anyone's noticed unless you feel the magic cast path without a trace.
Nice.
Nice.
Bless.
Burning through my spells though.
Oof, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you can see as you get closer, there are watchtowers there at the extremities of the fort, two overlooking the approach that you are on, and a third off on the opposite side, looking over the valley. They're like 20 foot tall with rickety wooden ladders leading up to them, and a thick column of smoke issues from each one, suggesting the presence of a lit brazier.
I believe they're using some sort of rudimentary fire.
As opposed to...
Day
That's
four.
Excellent
magical
deduction
fire.
there, young backpack.
Magical fire, yes. You're all welcome. You're very lucky that I'm here with my
I'm-
superior intellect.
I'm more interested in what would not be rudimentary fire. Like, do you have some sort of technological advanced fire?
Oh yes, we are. I'm an artificer, so I'm quite good with magical technology and the like. Yes, it's a magical fire or some sort of advanced fire. I could it's not the time, but I have many books that talk about the elemental plane of fire and it's how it sustains the planes and continues on.
This is just while he's backpacked as well.
No, don't do that.
You're just like
Slowly move towards the eat position.
Okay, so you're attempting to sneak up towards the main entrance there? Okay, so everyone, give me a stealth check at +10.
Okay.
At 15.
Say again, sorry, Ergoti?
I rolled a 4, so thank God. 15.
Okay.
I am going to use my my ability to restore balance, so my disadvantage on stealth is not available anymore.
Okay.
So.
And
32.
32.
31.
Wow.
Stealth check, was it?
31 stealth, please, +10.
It seems I have
Oxton?
advantage. But,
I'm going to use my Tides of Chaos to have advantage on this.
Okay.
Ooh, that's good. That's 29.
Nice.
And I haven't unlocked my Flash of Genius yet, so that will be a total of, 13.
Okay, doke.
How does that work? You got 13 and I got a 31. You're on my back.
Because you can't shut up.
Yeah.
I get a plus
Still
10
talking.
as well, right? I'm getting a plus 10 as well, so it'll be
Yes.
33. No, 23.
Okay.
22 on my end.
Okie doke. Thank you. That is an average of 25, which is very nice. And I quote the text here: "The goblins prefer the heat of the braziers to their duties, and I am taking -2 to their passive perception, which is only 9 already. So
What a waste of a spell. It would have
They
been
have-
fine.
they have zero idea. But there are, as you get closer, the watchtowers are not a problem. But you do see much more attentive goblins on the main gates. 2 pairs peering down from either side, as you can see the main gates there. But you are able to make your way along the edge of the ravine, along the edge of the ledge there, and use the natural cover of the rocks and their lack of attention to make it all the way up to the palisade itself. And you can see the flickering torches and various animal skulls spiked onto the top of these crudely cut logs that have been lashed together to form the wall of this fortress. I think you are able to clamber up where the wall meets that rock spire at the front there, and you are able to make your way up the side of the fortress, because as I said, the watchtowers are only at the front and back. There's nothing on the sides there, because they're not expecting anyone to sneak around past the watchtowers in the front. So you clamber up there, and as you peer over, you see into the main courtyard. There are 2 rickety wooden bridges looming over this area at heights of 30 feet and 50 feet respectively. The higher bridge is missing a large section in the middle, and what remains of that structure does not look safe at all. There are 2 iron cages hanging from beams that extend southeast off the lower bridge. One of them twirls on its heavy iron chain as a flurry of black feathered ravens tear into the flesh of a desolate creature caged within. Underneath the bridge is a warg with a rider on its back. The rider, swathed in cold weather clothing, appears to be a rather fat goblin. North and west of the higher bridge, resting in the snow, are 3 large wooden cages that are currently empty.
Looks like he may have gobbled too much. That's 4.
So, here is a map for you. Ta-da.
Cha-cha.
Okay. So,
You guys are.
So yeah, you find yourselves. Let's see, where would you be? So yeah, you have come down from the northeast of that direction there, and have clambered up round the north part of that biggest spire of rock, and you're looking down into the courtyard with the cages there. So, what would you like to do?
How does one hunt an anvil?
Is at any rate.
Perhaps we try diplomacy? I'm quite good at talking. A lot of people seem to like me, so I head down there and have a conversation with them. I have comprehend languages, just in case.
If you'd
they
like
don't
to go
come.
first, go for it.
Sure.
We'll wait here. And
Very well. Here I go.
We're all still planted our feet.
I'm going to be going around while he's doing.
Hello. Hi. Hello.
Can I like stealthily go up behind Enadon as he's walking? So it's like the gnome is sort of walking down, but there's this like giant bird also kind of like fluttering behind them in like a menacing way.
Grace is just a stand.
Yes, because the rest of us are still hidden.
There is a yelp of surprise and who are you? No, you're not welcome. You have to use the gate. It's just confusion.
The gate
why
was
would I
closed.
use the gate?
Where you come
And
from?
how do you know I haven't used the gate?
And you see a couple of goblins at the start of the cry rush up onto these platforms that are obviously for defensive purposes here, and you see two snarling wolves at their sides as well as they train bows and arrows on you, and the one riding the warg in the thing just comes over.
There's no need for that. We're all friends here.
Give me a persuasion check.
The rest of us are still lovely stealth by pass without a trace.
Let me find my oh boy.
Does Enadon get any kind of advantage or disadvantage for just having the hulking bird behind him?
Oh, you're not stealthing. You're going. If Enidon.
How I see it is that I'm stealthing. I'm trying to not let Enadon know that I'm there, but
Gotcha.
the goblins that were.
Okay. Yes. Unknowingly, Enidon does have advantage and he's not sure why.
Hell yeah. All right, let's do it. That'll be a 15.
A 15. Okay. The warg pads slowly forward. Its black fur, speckled with snow, bristling as its lip curls. And the goblin on its back eyes you. You're not welcome here. Lest it be for dinner.
Yes, but I'm here because I got sent about the anvil from your boss. Check this out. I'll take a coin out of my satchel and I'll bring it out, and then I'm going to use my magical tinkering to make it speak. Yes, watch this. Hello, I'm a little old coin.
And the goblin almost falls off the back of this wall. He's like, what cursed magic is this? No, tricksy gnome.
Cursed magic?
Tricksy gnome.
I'm not a tricksy gnome. How very much dare you? I mean, like, I don't call you a goblin. That's not fair. I'm a golden corn. You see, I make things talk, and very much like this anvil that you took. I'm here to help you understand and utilize its power. I'm a golden corn. See, it's amazing. Here, do you want it? All yours. There you go. There's more where that came from, good buddy. There you go.
Kind of kicks his heels into the side of the warg, and it comes forward, slathering, looking very hungrily at you, and he's like, I shall confiscate this coin. This is now belongs to Slubsuck.
Slubsuck? I'm a golden coin. There you go. Good buddy. There you go. Look at that. We're making fast friends, and there's much more where that came from. Trust me.
And you can hear up on the platforms there, the goblin archers are like, I once want to. And they kind of starts coming down the rickety
Everyone
ladders.
join in. Come on. We're all friends here. Come on.
And very quickly you will see, of you peering over the walls, a excited group of goblins
Like that we
jumping.
moved towards their watchtowers and we're like taking up the positions that they were in before.
Yeah, they're just like.
Now understand that the coin is going to go to sleep. At some point they do that. They're sentient coins. So I know it sounds inconceivable, but it's very conceivable. Trust me. Okay, there you go. Oh, I'm a golden coin too. Put me in your pocket. Oh, thank you, buddy. That. We're all friends. We've all got talking coins. There we go.
Very, very inconceivable. Inconceivable.
Exactly. It's inconceivable. There you go. All right, well.
Now,
They're
Enidon, you
sentient.
as you're looking up to them, and as they're approaching you on the wargs, the one that was on, so you kind of look up and up towards Snumpsuck there, and you see as you look past him and above, dangling beneath one of the bridges, there is a massive shield guardian. Just hanging, tied up in ropes underneath one of the bridges that you see there.
What is that? Love that.
Vanquished
Love that.
foe!
You holding on to me?
Vanquished
What
foe!
is- Vanquished foe. Ooh.
More treasure! More treasure!
More treasure. Well,
Yes.
I believe we already have a treasure in that vanquished foe.
But we need more treasure, else we will eat you. Dinner! You're here for dinner.
Love
Here
that.
for dinner. Here for dinner. Here for dinner.
Yeah, but
The body's not shit.
Please understand this. That thing there is incredibly powerful. And did it have some sort of amulet or necklace with it?
We don't know, but we have means to fix it. We stole the magic anvil. Andy will fix it. Andy's our friend now.
Yes, and we're Andy's friend.
No, Andy's our friend. No. And they suddenly lower the bows and like spears at you. Our friend.
Hey, none of that. Here, have another coin.
And it was cut away from that for a second. Grisadi, you are also kind of like swamped by, and as Enidon, as you turn to hand out these magical coins, you are suddenly slightly startled that Grisadi is right behind you, towering above you, as well, looking very intimidating. And but apart from that, Tumazur, Tamagri, Oxton, and Urgatin, what are you doing?
If they're all being distracted by the coins, I think I'm probably going to start sneaking around trying to find any sign of this anvil.
Yeah.
Okay.
move deeper in, see if there's any like a cave or something like that they like within this fortress that looks like we could potentially find.
Well, if you can see on the map there, that kind of central tower, that square tower that's kind of like in the middle there, that looks like the most important building. And as you can hear in Sirenscape, there are clangs and hammerings that you can hear. And then you hear a voice as well, which doesn't sound like a goblin, though, not like any of the goblins that are talking with Enidon. No, not like that. No, you don't do it like that. No.
Yes!
Yes!
Look, if you're gonna steal me, you may as well use me properly.
I love it so much.
As you hear what
Sounds
must
fun.
surely be Andy the Anvil.
The anvil.
No other, clearly.
I mean, I think we should stealthily head in that direction
Wade, perhaps?
Are we going to
Wade
wade
stealthily.
stealthily?
through the snow.
Okay.
Wading through the snow.
Oh.
Okay.
It's right around the corner, guys.
Okay, so yeah, it's pretty close to where you guys are. You can make your way across that upper
Making our way.
ridge there to the walkway on that side.
Alright. I'd like to be very I would like to have my crossbow and my a crossbow prepped. And I have I have done the repeating shot infusion.
Nice.
I just imagined you with a crossbow with javelin.
Yeah.
Possible.
The repeating shot is just like lots and lots of javelins. That's where I'm getting them.
A fan of javelin.
It's like a peacock tail at this point. But only when I'm in combat mode, so it's like
I love that image.
it's Game of Thrones chair, it's just javelins. Which I have just realized are less than 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are making your way towards where you can hear these smithing sounds and this strange voice, whilst Enidon and Grisardi are distracting the goblinoids. And Grisardi, you feel a tug and a sharp pain as if you lose a few feathers. Presents from you too. Presents, thank you.
Grisardi kind of like looks, like lifts up his wing and then like bird head kind of like look under, so it kind of gets that weird long extended neck as it meets the eyes of the goblin. Grisardi require compensation for feather.
Oh, yes, no problem. We not eat you. No roast Grisardi.
Grisardi kind of like looks around at the like line of goblins, kind of weighs up the one option versus the other, and this is where I'm so glad that the randomization put a +4 in wisdom, and says, "This is fair exchange."
May I ask you, Smickmack, who is your leader?
Our leader?
Your leader. Your leader. Who do you conceive as your leader?
Take me to them.
Oh, mighty chief Kakaruk.
Kakaruk, eh?
Yes.
What would Kakaruk think if you were hoarding talking coins without sharing them with Kakaruk?
You not tell. This is present for us.
Oh, well, Kakaruk is not going to see it that way. You know Kakaruk can get very mad when you hide things from him.
You take 1 bludgeoning damage as you are showered with returned coins.
Hey now.
I touch it. You touch it last. You touch it last.
No, I'm gonna have to say that if you, I'm gonna tell Kakaruk that you didn't share these coins. And there were so many witnesses here. I think that we should go see Kakaruk, and then we should at least, you know, make friends. I tell you what, I'm kind of nice, right? I give you coins. Does Kakaruk give you coins?
No.
Revolution!
Kakaruk gives us roast gnome. Yes,
Can I do a investigation check to see if they're being if martial punishment is being administered? Are they wearing any scars?
Before I want to drop back to that many witnesses comment before. If could you make me a charisma check, be it intimidation or persuasion, your choice. And just while you're doing that, Famior...
You know what? I'm gonna take intimidation because I got advantage on it before, and no, we get.
Famior, thank you for your concern. Yes, we are absolutely fine. Thank you. We all felt it. Those of us that were in Japan, but it wasn't too bad. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Okay, you guys are okay. I didn't know something happened. Oh my god.
Yeah. There's an earthquake. That's what we were talking about before.
My camera was shaking.
I was in D&D
Everything
mode.
was like, whoa.
Yeah, Michael, I think you were the closest,
shaking
Michael.
Yeah.
Can I do intimidation and perhaps, intimidation with my big bird friend here?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay. I mean, that is what I think they technically call the help action.
The help action. That's an 18.
Helping?
Nice. Helpfully intimidating.
Good help.
Helpfully intimidating. And you, yes, that is successful. And the others, they start to like grin wickedly to each other, and they turn to this courtyard boss of theirs. Yes, we witnesses. We all saw you. We saw Snubsuck. We saw Snubsuck not sharing.
Yes, see?
And he's like desperately like wheeling around on the warg, the warg's growling and like snapping this way and that as the goblins sort of like gathering around him. He's like, no, I didn't. It was this one, Trixie gnome.
Now, all I'm saying, friends, gangs, if you will, I feel like Snubsnack might be Krunkel's favorite. You seem to be eating the best, as I can see.
And the goblins through the side are like, yeah, he's much bigger.
Food for me? Does he boss you around when Krunkel is not looking?
He must be. He
Well,
must be.
Hey, looks out, you've been eating a lot. You've been gobbling a lot, haven't you? Just so much.
Snap, snack, goblin. Snap, snack, goblin. Snap,
Gobble,
snack,
gobble.
goblin.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And the rest of you hear this commotion going on down in the courtyard. Yes, so you have now made your way around the walkway there, and you are around by the main area, and you can hear the sound of the smith's tools and the hammering going on inside. What would you like to do?
Obtain ending. Casually hang on to Doggo. Maybe
like,
have a
like
tag.
everyone's looking at it, we just walk up and just like pick it up and give a wave and walk off.
Thank you.
we take a leaf out of Enidon's book, and we just like put on movers outfits.
I'm gonna say, yeah, get a ladder. One of us is gonna clipboard of the hat. We just let us in.
You can have the video.
You peer in through where the smoke is billowing out, clearly some kind of smithy. And as you peer into this dark space, you see several forms dashing here and there, lit by the red glow of the furnace and the forge. You can see one of them shoveling fuel in. Two of them go flying up into the air as a pair of bellows just drags them up on the upstroke, and then they heave it down as best as they can as another one jumps off a nearby ledge onto the top of it to force it down again, and then they get pulled back up into the air as this oversized bellows is much too big for them. And you also see, standing at the anvil, something that is very clearly not a goblin. You see the large round shoulders, thick neck, oversized flapping ears, as a long grizzled trunk covered in scars rises up with a hammer. He's like, "No, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong." Clunk, clunk. Stupid anvil. I am the mighty Garak. I will wield this hammer as I did in the arena, and I shall fix the warrior. And you're like, oh, there's just no talking to some people. And you, unfortunately, Grissadi is not with you, but you do see a Loxodon working hard with a stained leather apron on over their clothes, and they're silhouetted, their ears flapping in a frustrated way, silhouetted against the furnace's flames as they pull a heated piece of metal out and start hammering it again.
I'm going to use my mage hand, and which is invisible. And every time they drop the hammer, I just move the thing they're hitting slightly to the side.
Yes.
Chaos.
Love it.
Give me a sleight of hand.
Okay. With advantage because it's invisible?
Yeah.
Excellent. That's alright. That's a 15. It's alright.
Okay. You are, yes, pretty successful. Not perfectly. Sometimes they do manage to hit it, but they are getting more and more frustrated. And that's when a figure comes over. You're not doing it properly. Listen to it. It seems to know what it's talking about. And you see a larger goblin come clumping over. Seems to be in charge. The other ones that are working in the smithy here scuttle out of its way and make way for this figure who comes clumping over. We need the warrior. We need the warrior to be fixed as quickly as possible. And the Loxodon turns. Garak knows full well. So, what do you do? Mazur, what are you doing?
Assessing many different options, none of which are particularly any good. Are there like so with the anvil and everything, are there any flames in that particular area?
The forge is there, yep.
Okay, so can I use control flames
Yes.
on those particular flames to make them rise and take the form of a silhouetted female goblin form? To strike
Hellfire,
with
like
sultry
fire,
blows.
my skin
Okay.
is burning desire.
So yeah, cast the spell there. Is there any roll or anything that needs to be made?
It's a cantrip, it just happens.
Okay. So, you cast this. Give me a performance check to see how well you do Sultry Goblin.
Sexy goblin. It's happened, guys. Here. Sexy goblin.
Proud of us.
It's
Sexy
happened.
goblin.
We
It's
can
happened.
retire as adventurers.
We're here. It was done.
Okay,
done.
I'm gonna preemptively Tides of Chaos here because
Does
this is
it?
probably not gonna go well.
Okay.
Ooh, it still didn't go well.
Embrace the chaos.
That's a
think there is-
12.
A 12. Okay.
Sexy goblin. Can't believe it. Crackle rod.
Oh yeah.
Now, as the flames erupt out of the forge, all the goblins start back, startled and scared, as they rise up and start to sway slightly out of time with the music that has started to be piped in from somewhere nearby, and we realize that Ergotin is using their prestidigitation again. if I might.
Of course, she's
One-
fully on board with
One
this.
problem, Tomazura, with your attempt here is that this sexy goblin jazz is emanating from a set of bagpipes.
I would like to boost the performance once I realize what's going on with my one pyrotechnics.
Oh yes.
As soon as I like, we need some flair. I do the equivalent. Roleplay wise, I do the imagined image of like taking the crossbow and shooting a firework around the area. That's just like so some extra jazz.
Excellent, excellent. Okay.
Extra jazz.
Okay, so this not amazingly well formed, but sultry nonetheless, fire goblin starts to strut around the forge, and the goblins that are working there say, "Oh, oh, yes, yes." But Karkaluk, because it is he, is snapping at them. He's like, "What are you doing? It's not even a real. What are you doing? It's not even a real goblin."
Hey, honey. The other one's not real.
I
I
was
would
just
absolutely
like,
do that, but in,
100% lady.
they would
Hey, Evan, how you
absolutely do
doing?
that, but probably
I can't help
in
but
Tomazur's
admit.
voice. Hey, sugar. Looks like you're the one for me. Oh, you're doing hot stuff. I'm looking for a real
Flame on.
goblin.
You see the Loxodon angrily turn, not impressed by this goblin at all, this fire goblin at all, and they start to stomp across the forge. Out of the way, you lot! And he batters some
So
goblins
what a
out the side. They go crushing across to the side. And he's like, I will
As
deal
they
with
approach,
this.
as they approach, I'll change the form. So,
Yes.
and set up another firework.
So you changed it into a Loxodon, did you say?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
massive fiery ears unfurl, and he pulls his
Another
mid-stride.
firework.
He pulls his side, he's like, Who's doing this? And he looks around. He's like, I will not be so easily fooled as these idiots. And looking around angrily. Ergotin.
Yes. How is he not
Oxton.
stick to this salty?
Andy the Anvil is left unattended at this point.
Okay.
We shall stealthily try and
Stare, actually.
Okay.
At the risk of being too crude, I must say you have quite the long trunk.
The fire Loxodon playfully bats at him. He's like, no, away with you. Foul temptress.
Definitely Oxton almost like trips over something at that, just like, what the hell are you doing? Like looking at her, like, what are you
Just
doing?
roll with it. Roll with it. I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna throw.
I've done this before.
I hope not.
Okay, we will be
I'd
back.
like to add-
Absolutely done this
I would-
before.
I would like to add dancing lights as well to that effect, please. Around this fire, like just like little disco lights. The embers of love begin to light the torch.
Just like glitters falling down.
Just like and it lasts for an action, but oh no, 1 minute. So it's like 1 minute of at least like sparkle.
As the lights illuminate the interior of the smithy even more than the forge fires themselves, Grisadi, Enidon, as you look over the accusatory points and quickly escalating suspicion and threat of violence that's here in the courtyard. You see there's some sort of discotheque apparently going on in the forge across the way. Grisadi.
Look! Now they're having parties without you! Inconceivable! I have to say this. Gang, if you side with me and make me your new boss, you will be fed well, you will be paid well, and you will get all the talking coins you could ever want.
Inconceivable!
Inconceivable! Exactly! You will no longer be stealing my gang's food. Here you go. And I'm gonna pick up the coins and I'll hand them to the ones. I'm gonna hand out coins to everyone that's yelling inconceivable towards.
That's it.
Snack luck? Is it snack?
It is now.
Well,
Okay.
Snack looks like no more snacks for you.
And
Come on.
Snack-a-lack.
he angrily wheels around the walk. He's like, enough of this. I get Skakaluk. Boss man, boss.
Don't let him escape, gentlemen. Get him. Tie him up.
Inconceivable. Grisadi, can you roll me an athletics check, please?
Certainly can.
Inconceivable.
15.
15. Okay, you keep your feet as you are buffeted by a small green tidal wave of anger as the incited crowd goes charging after Snubsuck. Or snack pack, whatever his name was. Panics in a very panicked fashion, digs his heels into the wall. He's like, flee, Fido, flee! And he just starts galloping across.
With my large physique and figure, can I reach and see if I can grab him off of the wall and
Absolutely.
pull him up?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Just make me an initiative roll. Roll me an initiative. Let's see who goes first.
Yeah. Oh, I did not roll very well. I got a 10.
Okay. I'm afraid he got a 13. He kicks the warg and it just bounces out of your reach. What would you like to do? He goes charging towards the forge where you saw your
I'm a
friends
monk.
sneaking in.
I can have a monk rogue. I can bonus action dash towards it, stand
Damn
in
straight.
front of it, and then just punch it in the face.
Yes!
Alright. Okay.
Violence!
yes.
The only cat!
Give me a flurry of talons attack, if you will.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
that rolled up a 4 into a 14, so that's a 19 to hit.
Excellent, definitely hits.
So it needs to make a DC 16 saving throw, or it's going to get pushed.
Okay.
I believe it's
is that
10.
Dex?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no, it fails a strength saving throw.
Oh dear, that's even worse.
Otherwise it just gets pushed 15 feet.
15! These talons
Yes.
are lethal!
Wow.
That's
Okay,
what's
Like
so yes,
rockets
you,
blasting off again.
1,000 damage, razor sharp.
Enidon, your mouth kind of goes slightly agape as you see Grisadi with a flap of their wings just boost themselves up over the angry goblins, and they go dashing around the side in front of the retreating warg. Their talons flash out, 1, 2, impacting in the chest, just like the 1-inch punch on this fat goblin, and his form just goes sailing off the warg, slow motion. He's like, as he disappears into the writhing, angry tide of dissident goblins behind him. Inconceivable! Inconceivable! Now,
You
Nice.
see like the black eye
on the
of the
menu, boys. I read that in a book.
now,
You see the black eye glint into the light as the snow light hits as the strike.
okay. As you
You
make
could
your way,
say-
Nice.
as you make your way,
They've fallen victim to a classic blunder.
Don't you walk away from me. Come back over here. I want to have a
You
talk with
walk
you.
away
I know you wargs can understand language. Can I have a quick conversation with you, please?
so look at, can they?
They can. I'm pretty
Oh
sure
yeah,
they can speak
yeah,
as
they can
well.
speak.
Yeah,
They can
speak
they,
as well. Yeah.
Goblin and warg. Yeah, can you speak goblin? Can you speak goblin?
I don't know. Comprehend language.
Oh yes, of course. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that as my. I'm gonna somehow I'm a Eberron gnome, but I'm also from.
Well travelled, very well travelled. Now, as you do this, the chant changes from inconceivable to one of their own. Walk of doom, walk of doom. And if you will regard the map once more, to the northwest corner, you'll see a wooden structure jutting out over the edge of the canyon, which disappears far, far below, and a tide of anger.
My dear inconceivables, hope belay that walk of doom. Snack pack, I think it was. Let me come here. Before you take the walk of doom, which does not sound very pleasant, perhaps you could convince me and the inconceivables of your value. This warg seems to heed your command, at least for now. If you were to, let the warg know that it works for me now, then perhaps you won't,
And you turn round, and this warg, having spent a good deal of time here in Icewind Dale, seems to have picked up some common as well. You see them as they're up on their hind legs, leaning against the entrance to the smithy.
Yes!
And they're like picking at their claws. They're like, snack who?
I like this work. I really like this work.
Yes. It comes back with a bow tie.
You have nothing of value to offer me then, Snack Pack. So, unless you can think of something,
Damn.
anything at all of value before you make that little tunnel.
And Snack Pack's like, sorry, I should have been doing this before. Now!
Oh no!
Gorgeous.
I can put in good word. I will tell Carglock that you are not for dinner. Yes?
Well, if you can see that I'm clearly not for dinner, it's very. I know it's inconceivable for you, but I'm the boss now. Look at me.
But
I'm the chieftain now.
and as you look at Snackpack, you can even hear off on the sides, as if off beyond the fortress somewhere in chat, there is a chant of walk of death, walk of death. As all the way from Sunblight Fortress, further over in the mountains, all the way across on Kelvin's Cairn, you hear this.
The winds are calling for you to go for a little walk.
And the warg just kind of like waving and toodaloo.
Dear Thwark, I think that you're going to be eating very well later.
Well,
Fresh mutton for you, my dear
I'm
friend.
glad that we can come to some arrangement.
Oh, the sultry voice you have.
Here's
Narration
my
work,
walk.
Callum.
Yes. Well, I'm glad that you are so amenable to
on your glasses.
new ways of thinking.
There's so many glasses. So many glasses.
Yes, they're bifocals.
Are they from
They're
Bytopia?
Bytopia.
Oh, you've been.
It's been filled with surprises. Well, walk of doom. Walk of
Walk
doom.
of doom.
Walk of doom. Walk of doom.
Walk of doom.
And poor old Snackback is just left screaming. He's like, no, no, no! Ooh, too much.
Go back for a little bladder.
And the tide of the inconceivables goes off towards the northwest there. Now, at that moment, we cut back inside, and
Sexy
Sexy Loxodon dancing.
She'll tell me, stud. I know they say an elephant never forgets, but how could I ever forget such a beautiful visage like yourself?
and
I really hope you still have alcohol in your system during all of this, man.
and Garak just snorts angrily. He's like, "What? Is it the heat of the forge, or is it just me?"
Oh, it's all you, baby.
And I need Ergotin and Oxton. Can you please make me a stealth check?
Sure. What are my surroundings like? Is it kind of, is there snow going on here? How close are we to the door? I'm just
Yeah,
wondering
you're
if I'm
you're
passing
inside
the
at this
wild.
point, sneaking over towards
Okay.
Andy.
Word.
Can I use my mask with the wild tree to conceivably melt into the background of the stone with
Of
my
course.
bagpipes?
Absolutely. Jazz pipes.
You jazz
Jazz
into the wall.
Jazz pipes of holding.
I don't know exactly how that works in terms of rolls. It doesn't actually say about rolling. I think it just literally says you can attempt to hide even when you're only lightly obscured.
I see. That's fine. It's pretty dark and gloomy in here. Only the lights of the forge and this sexy fire Loxodon.
Sparkle,
Yeah.
sparkle.
It's lightning
Main
up.
Sparkle, sparkle.
attraction.
And the visual effects. Now, Ergotin, you are very aware of your bagpipes of holding. Might be a
Yes.
very useful way to transport such a heavy item.
Yes. The issue is more like, can I fit it into my bagpipes?
Oh, but have you not seen?
There's a zip.
It is a magical sporran.
I was going to say that. Is it a sporran?
Mm-hmm. The extra dimensional space is in the bagpipes, but the exit and entry to the place is in the sporran.
Oh, in that case, yes, we're fine. I was thinking just levitating it, but this works just as well.
The exit entrance of the friends we made along the way.
Sexy fire friends were made along the way.
Sparkle, sparkle.
So I guess in this case, I'm going to be trying to walk over to the anvil while playing the bagpipes, while also trying to hide subtly. Insert this anvil into my sporran with one hand.
Okay. Give me
that
a
is a bit I never thought I
performance.
would hear.
Give me a performance check to see if you can keep up the sexy bagpipes whilst doing this.
Okay.
And Oxton, I need your a stealth check, please.
13.
I mean, we still have thingy, so we still have the plus 10.
Mm-hmm.
The
Plus
13 to performance. Do I pass or fail? I have a backup plan if it doesn't pass.
17.
14, you said?
13.
A 13, not enough, I'm afraid. What's the backup
In
plan?
that case, I am favored by the gods. And I'll
Hey.
add extra 2d4. If I fail it, saving throw. Oh, wait, sorry, never mind. It doesn't work because it's saving throw or attack rolls. Never mind. I'm not favored by the gods.
Isn't every bagpipe
I-
player favored by the gods?
Always.
I personally think so. Would you let me use it or no?
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
Yay. Okay, so I rolled 2 nat ones. That's 15.
Oh!
The DC was 15, so that is
Yay.
just enough.
Yay!
But folks, I do like to say at least once a session, if you've got them, let them fly. Get those natty ones.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well-
well, it's okay.
well,
It's
that's-
still enough.
While that's happening, while you're doing that, you just hear from the other side of the room, "Tell me, baby, are you a warlock? Because you look like you took the pact of the Fathom Yesh."
Yes. I approve.
The stealth check was also good. Thank you, Oxton. As you are sneaking over there, and you start to get this, you hear this. Oh, hello. Who are you? From Andy.
Not really replying to anything. I'm just trying to stuff him into my board while playing the bagpipes. I don't have any notes. Very accessible
Just like
for
wait.
speech.
And he's like, oh, all right then, here we go again. and, now, Oxton, despite your stealth being very high and you thought you'd done a good job, you feel a hand clasp you on the shoulder, and you turn round and look into the visage of Karkaluk.
At the panic of being touched, I instantly turn into a koala.
Okay. And as you
They make terrifying
cling
noises.
to the front of this, you see what we're seeing here.
Ooh.
This is no goblin. And as he comes up beside you, he just whispers fiercely in your ear, "Take me with you."
Question to the Australians: what does a koala sound like?
Like death. like, and during mating season, twice as bad and more of the hell in you.
And super loud.
So that's what he hears.
And at that, the
Oh, here we
Luxodon,
go.
despite Tomazura's sexy advances, the Luxodon wheels around. What's going on? And
One
as
of
you
pyrotechnics.
finally slip the anvil into your bag, Ergotin, the Luxodon spins around and sees you all. What is going on? And he wields his smith hammer. What do you do?
Wand of pyrotechnics
use-
directly in his face.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I'm
what
going to use
happens?
the control flame. Just set him on fire.
So
Okay.
it is accompanied with the equivalent of a firework noise, apparently. So there have been firework noises going on this entire time. So directly in front of this elephant with their large, gorgeous ears, I want to shatter their eardrums.
Tusk, tusk, tusk.
Okay, so yes, this massive explosion of lights goes off in their face, and the fiery, sexy Loxodon drapes their trunk around him, setting him on fire as well. And he just roars in pain and panic. And you, Ergotin, Oxton, and Tamagri and Timazar go barreling out of the door into the courtyard.
Full speed.
You see the tail end of a group of goblins disappearing off. All of the guards have gone storming off in that direction for some reason. You're not quite sure what Enidon has done in your absence. Next to the door, there is that warg still leaning there against the doorpost, and he. Sorry, let's get my warg face on.
Walk this way.
Up this
And,
way.
And
Yes.
he's like, oh, we're leaving us so soon.
Hey, you talking to me or you talking to Snack Pack?
Oh no, your friends here. Little gnome, your friends seem to have found something.
Oh yes, that's we came here for Andy. Then I discovered you, the real treasure.
Oh, you flatter me, sir.
I start playing something else again.
Now,
Shall we get the inconceivables in action? I'm going to whistle home.
all right.
Time to take over! Let's go!
Okay, and he, the warg plops down back onto all fours, and he's like, hop on then.
Yes! Thank you very much! Climb up.
You want me to get you a box?
I'm very happy right now. Thank you.
Grisadi, as you say that, it's like, I recognize that voice. And just exploding from the blacksmiths, you see
Oh, hell
the
dear.
flame
On fire.
enshrouded form of Garak. It's like, you. I tell you something. I'm not gonna pay any late fees. I'm going to exact them on you! No! Just comes charging towards you.
Like I can see the segment play out as Grisati is looking down at Enidon, saying their quip, and then meeting the eyes, and it's just like a shortcut glint of their eyes, and it's just like angry bird eyes appears. Grisati takes their stance, and like in the loudest Grisati can muster, you just hear, "Alright!" and just bird wings kind of like fly back as then they just run, monk run, as humanly possible, bringing up their wings. I'm gonna throw a dart as soon as I enter the range of it.
Go for it, go for it.
Already. Throw a dart. That's, I can do that. That's monk stuff.
Business.
Ooh, a 20 to hit?
They're a bird, actually.
Nice, yeah, absolutely.
I like that. Nice. Not bad, eh?
3? I'm assuming I don't get sneak attack. I don't think so.
I'm afraid not. No. But are
Charging towards you.
you aiming to do a stunning strike on this?
Yeah. I
Okay.
was gonna do all the monk things. Actually, do I have stunning strike?
Yes.
I've got open. No, I don't have stunning strike yet.
It's fifth level, isn't it? And stunning strike.
no,
kicks in.
Ah, right. Then so because the multi-class then.
Guys, I multi-classed into a bow.
I went
Yeah.
ranger and 2 artificers.
Oh, that's I was gonna say, like, after throw the dart, I'm going to spend a key point to flurry of blows.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Jumping up with the talons and then just
Okay, go. Yeah, attack.
first one is a 15.
Talon.
Okay.
The second one is a 20.
Okay, they both hit.
You have the talent for it.
You are an incredible talent!
We both went down,
so
you did it better.
First one is a 4, and then the second one is 6 damage. So 10 damage.
Okay. Yes, you suddenly, this angry librarian just comes surging forwards and attacks the Luxodon, halting them in their path as they were chasing after the Andy thieves. And, Tamagri, as you are rushing across the courtyard, you see to the left and right, up on the battlements, apparently there were still some friends of Snackback left. Not all of them were inconceivables, and there is a spread of leathery wings as goblins dressed in draconic onesies with leathery wings are taking up positions on top of the watchtowers and swooping down into the courtyard. What do you do?
I would like to do what I just realized, and I would like to use one of my javelins with the catapult spell.
Ooh.
Yes! Best
Okay.
spell.
Just like loads of javelin inside its repeating crossbow.
Yep.
Fires.
Okay, go for it.
Oop, hi, Light. Nice to meet you.
Dressed as dragons! Shalabba laugh!
I missed that.
Shalabba laugh!
There you go, very good.
Alright, so I need them to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh, right. Okay, let's have a look here. Da-da-da-da-da. The first, how many of them, sorry?
It's a line, I think.
Yep.
Hang on. No. So it goes in 90 feet, it's fine. So
Okay.
whatever hits first,
Yep.
and then it'll keep going until, or if they get out of the way, it just keeps going until it hits something.
Okay, the first two do manage to dive bomb and swoop out of the way, but the third one, which is just about to jump off the parapet, it just smacks into them and knocks them back off the far side of the wall, down into the gorge beyond, and just a little, and they disappear. And you go charging, all of you. Enidon, you are charging across on the warg as it's galumphing across. I must say this is quite exhilarating. And Tomazo, what are you doing?
I will look back at the less appealing flaming Loxodon of this one shot. And yeah, I will pull out a crossbow and I'll attempt to shoot it.
So you don't use any magic?
I have a lot of spells.
Yeah.
They're not very good for encounters. Like, any of them, really.
Wakari. Mitchell Wakari.
Where am I currently? Like,
you're just running across the courtyard towards the main gates.
okay. In which case, because you asked so politely,
Oh, thank you.
I will use Mind Sliver on it instead.
Okay. Please roll me a D100.
Oh boy!
Hell yeah! Let's go!
Yes!
On your other class in your build is Rogue, I believe. So you are rolling on the Rogue Wild Magic table.
Hell yeah!
How'd you go?
Are you sure you don't want to use the normal table? Because this doesn't happen very often.
What is it?
Roll one.
Really?
I
Can
think
we pass this opportunity up?
in the interest of time, yes. Sorry, I have done it. I've done it once before already, so I'm sated. Sorry.
So good.
Colby, give me one of those already. Okay, well, let's do it on this table. Roll me 3 D100s.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yes, it's the wild magic impacts on itself and triggers even more surges as you are leaving
first
here.
First one 93,
Yep,
51,
yep.
and 64.
Oh, right. Okay, so as you're all charging across the courtyard, Tumazar turns and tries to fire off some magic towards these swooping draconic one-seed goblins. And as they do so, sorry, I just said here, until you rest, each time you do sneak attack damage, but I just read it as snack attack damage. So as you fire off your attack, because I don't think I'm doing any sneak attack here. As you fire off this attack, this spell, you find yourself compelled to do a dance move as a flourish. Go. Pow. Okay, there it goes. Okay, as the fire goes across, and then also, as you do that, let's see here. Oh, perfect. You also find yourself compelled to snatch every exposed coin you see within reach. There are several gold coins.
Oh God! No.
Several gold coins on the floor of the courtyard here, just that were lost by their inconceivables. So you are left behind a little bit as you greedily grab at these different coins. And also, finally, as you start to leave the things here, the rest of you are barreling through the gates, but behind, let's see here, you see a golden number shimmering in the air above Tumazar's head. And it is the monetary value of everything that you have on your person. So it's going up by 1 gold piece every time you grab one of the coins off the ground.
It's amazing!
Okay, as you go charging out. Oxton, what you doing? You get out onto you back out onto the walkway, back down towards the mountains, back towards where the dogs are hiding with the sleds.
I kind of running as fast as a koala can, which is not at all. I'm just gonna be like holding on to the lever of the winch to open the gate, and then waiting for it very slowly to move down, and scrambling back up, and then just holding on.
Okay, so yeah, Grisardi, Enidon, as you all go charging towards the gate, you see this angry-looking koala repeatedly dropping down with the counterweight.
Indeed.
You might say? Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Grisardi, what you doing?
John, did my spell actually go through?
Yes. You knocked one of the dragons out of the air. Tamagri yells in appreciation. And freezes.
Grisardi is going to. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
You hit?
Go for it.
Yeah.
GM,
Can I shoot up a firebolt? Because
Absolutely.
if the mount is intelligent, I should be able to do these my actions.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, go for it.
Sick. All right. Natural one.
There goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Grisati, what are you doing as this firebolt crashes into you from behind?
Burning bird. So we're having chicken. Okay, so yeah, Grisati is like in this is in this heated, long-term dispute with Garak. Their feathers kind of like flying back and forth as the firebolt comes and just wallops Grisati in the back of the head.
Actually, what's happening here? Both of you are
10 damage as well.
10 damage.
I'm gonna yell out. Sorry, Hotshot, you've got this.
Enidon, it doesn't do 10 damage to Grisati, I'm afraid, because as they were wrestling to and fro here, between them, they had 101 ways to get money off your friends or whatever it was called, and they're pulling backwards and forwards between the book. You found the book, Grisati, after all this time, and as you're about to wrench it free from the fiery Luxodon, a firebolt punches through it, and there's an explosion of charred paper.
That hurts, mate. That hurts.
Okay, oh my god, this is perfect. So Grisati is standing there, his hunched figure over the smoking paper kind of like falling past their face. And to Enidon on the walk, you just see the bird head just do the full revolution back around.
Was one of the dragons!
Okay, fantastic.
May I ask for a deception check?
Absolutely.
Let me find Mosh. Here we go.
Oh.
Deception. Oh boy, it's 6.
Okay.
Somehow I beat it with 9.
Perfect.
Starting after years and years of feuding with Garak, and with trying to receive the commission and the compensation book, the head turns back around, the body then follows suit as the eyes kind of like look up at Enidon.
You just go swooping out of the gates towards him.
Yeah, and there's just like a massive feathers kind of like flurrying past. As I start to charge up.
Now, Grisati, as you do that, you do remember the voice of the Jarls in your mind. Anything you desire. Anything you desire. Echoing through your mind again. And as you all explode in this flurry of various mishaps from the gates of Karkalok Fortress, you, the rest of you, notice that Oxton seems to be riding on the back of someone again, but it is Karkalok, the chief himself. But as he's running, bits of metallic costume are falling off him, and beneath this costume that we saw in the picture here, you saw, where is it? This one here. You see a gnome. He's like, oh, thank goodness! Come on, let's get out of here! And you go charging down the slippery ledge towards where the dogs are hiding, half skidding, half tumbling down the cliff face to the bottom of the chasm floor. You look up and you see all of the hype train derp dogs look up. They're like, these massive tongues hanging out. You vault onto the sledges, and as they know what's up, they know what needs to be done. And as a couple of silhouettes of draconic onesied goblins comes spiraling down from the fortress above, and a couple of ineffectual arrows ping, ping, ping off rocks around you, you mush the hype train dogs, and they start barreling down the ravine once more, back towards the snows and the open expanses of Icewind Dale. And before you even aware of it, really, it's like almost, in an instant, you find yourselves charging once more up that small rise, that small hill, back up towards the massive stone thrones that are there atop of the hillock. And the ghosts of the Jarls materialize once more.
Did you do it? Did you find Andy the anvil?
Yeah, with an anvil.
Awkwardly. I slowly pull Andy out of my sporran.
What an image.
I hear from the background of that gnome who had been a goblin just quickly get bitten in the shoulder.
Yeet. Yeet once part 2.
Okay, and yes, as you pull it out and it clunks into the down, it's like, oh, all right there, fellas, yeah, I'm back. And the Jarls are like,
With this, we shall once more be able to forge our magic items and weapons worthy of legend, as will this day go down in our legends. You must now return, but as you do, you shall all find what it is you desire most.
and the ghostly forms of the Jarls on their thrones start to swirl around the massive stone thrones, becoming purple mist as it chokes and fills the circle in the middle of the stone circle here. And as the mists rise up around you once more, you find yourselves torn apart as quickly as you were thrown together. And I would like to go around the screen as we finish up for today. Give me a little vignette, if you will, a cutscene, if you will, of what happens and what awaits you as your reward as you return to your original location, Enidon. As you are whisked back to the mind of Matt Mercer, what do you find?
I know it's gonna sound inconceivable, but I was just whisked away to some place known as Icewind Dale, where there was torking goblins and there was a ward there, and there was a giant bird that had talons, and there was puns everywhere, and there's a discotheque happening up in a bill. It was crazy. Yes, okay. You did disappear for a moment, but you're back now. Yes, and they said that I would get exactly what I wanted. And I pull out an iron horn known as the Horn of Valhalla, which is the horn that you can blow, and it's the iron one, so it's the legendary one.
Nice.
And also say, yes, this came from exactly where we went. This is how we find out exactly what's happening with this random thing that's happening to our precious lands.
And you
there was
hear
a koala as well.
You hear a voice behind you.
Koala.
You hear a voice behind you. I can corroborate the entire story.
You made it, Wargy! Oh, happy we're here, Wargy!
Fido the warg has
Warg.
traveled through the mists with you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ergotin, what awaits you as you return?
Ergen was back to her forest, and she breathes a small sigh of relief for the quiet. And she continues to recover herself. And as she looks around, she catches the bushes over there, and she goes over to investigate. She sees it's a statue of her twin. Stone. She smiles. She wraps a rope around it. She casts levitate on.
So your greatest desire that was your twin was re-petrified.
Yes.
Just wanted to make that absolutely clear. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you so much. All right. Oxton, what awaits you, and where have you returned to?
Oxen is now in a temple of some sort, some chasms all around, small pathway to the middle, deep chasms all around, and he's just trying to pull at some sort of strange artifact, and just as he pulls it, the alarms go off, and all of a sudden, the crowd is tumbling. All of a sudden, bloop, and he becomes a koala.
Boom, koala.
Noted. Okay.
And
Temek.
dropped
Oh,
to
sorry.
his doom.
Thank you. Tamagri, what awaits you to wherever you return?
Tamagri wakes to flying in a stormless sky. It goes on forever. Horizons and cresting valleys filled with greens, restored, untouched by the wrath of dragons. And as they go and they're landing and they're kind of confused, in front of them, much taller than they are, is a very tall, beautiful half-elven and fey-touched woman. And it's like, Bella. And there is just and like it starts bird song as this woman that is the half-inch portrait that I got on that fake wild generator.
Yes.
Like kind of almost scoops the entirety of this bird up and goes, ciao.
Perfect. Okay, and Tumazur, how about you, sir?
So Tumazur finds himself back in this tavern, mid-conversation with said drunken fool. He's like, "Oh, you don't understand what the problem is. You think about dragons not being real and all that. I see what I have." And he just sort of stands there, not even looking at him, and holds his hand up. And in his hand, he suddenly has this interesting-looking hat, which he then proceeds to roll up his arm, place on his head. "Well, you can keep your dragons, lad. I'm off to do what I was born to do." And he starts walking towards the door, and the patron goes, What do you mean? Where are you going?" And as he turns round, his form changes into that of a very exotic female half-orc. "I'm going to do what I was born to do, my lad. I'm going to start up Tumazur's home for exotic dancers." Gracefully exits the tavern.
Wreathed in a flame red feather boa, I hope.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Fantastic. And last but certainly not least, Grisadi.
Okay, so as I can imagine, Grisadi will kind of almost like dive into the motion to try and grab Enidon to make him pay for what he has done to this book. The purple coloration has swirled around, and then Grisadi kind of dives into the library where they have spent many of their days. Angrily and shakily, they throw down their feathers and wings, and then they stand up, and upon the desk there are two things. There is a book, and it is clean and crisp as the day it was bought. 101 Ways to Stindle and Steal, and on top of that is a very small pouch that says, "From Enidon for Garek's payment." And I open it, and it's the 6 copper pieces that he owed. And then with a relief sigh, Grisadi lifts up this huge ledger to the very beginning, and then just crosses out Garek's name, and then goes to the next, closes it, puts on his cloak, and then I believe that he will take his vacation days.
Hell yeah.
And as we leave you all back in your relative spots with these end scenes here, we cut back to Icewind Dale, to the frozen peaks of the Spine of the World Mountains, where there is a charred and scarred Loxodon patting at his back pocket, finding 6 copper pieces missing. He raises his smith hammer to the sky. No! And we shall leave our adventure there.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you all so much. That was as wonderful as I expected it was going to be. And thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure. We will go around and just see where we can find you around the internets and what is going on in your world before we say goodbye. But just before we do that and close things out with that, let me quickly show everyone what I was going off here. Boom. Here we go, folks. So we ignore the first bit. The PCs must secure an intelligent anvil. It might involve goblinoids. There is an old bard who wants to do the same thing. They are the childhood friend of a character. The characters start outside some ruins. Partway through, they meet an old foe. If things slow down, which they did not, an ally turns up with useful information.
Hell no.
Afterwards, there is a cutscene of each character.
That was lovely. You did such an awesome job.
Pretty accurate.
Wow.
That was so good.
So, a massive thank you to all of you. And let us quickly go around.
There is sexy goblin on this list.
We're definitely insane.
Absolutely.
Dad.
It's all you.
Patch, where's the sexy goblin on your list?
All right. So, let's go around here. First, Josh. You absolute
I'm Josh.
legend. Please.
The Dreaded GM. You can find me on the Twitch channel known as Dreaded GM, or you can find me pretty much anywhere as GM. What's happening with me and my crew, who I have with me here tonight? We are holding two things on the channel very soon. We have one with a Stream Team fundraiser, which is collecting funds for Daedalus the Gamer, Robert Hartley GM, and myself to do very cool projects. And that is happening in a couple of days, actually, on the 9th and 10th, respectively. So the US time will be the 9th and 10th exact time. So join us there, or join our Discord where you can find out all the information on that. It's gonna be a great time because we've got some really cool people.
Very special
joining
guests. Yes.
Yeah, we've got some of the Fool's crew, the Fool's Gold peeps coming. Coffee and Felix are going to be in a one shot with us. In that same one shot, Quincy from Quincy's Tavern and also Ginny D is going to be there.
Ginny D.
Dad and I are going to be there as well.
Wow.
Some
Nice, man.
Hells.
Nice.
It's flipping mind blowing. And we've also got people from, we've got Caustic Phoenix who's joining us. We've also got Mudcat joining us, and we've also got we got so many people joining us for that Stream Team fundraiser. Come join us. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And with the funds that we collect, we're gonna do some cool projects. The other thing, the big headline that we're doing is we're holding DreadCon at the end of the month. It's the first DreadCon of many, and it's going to be a celebration of community, collaboration, and creativity. We want to invite everyone from all across the world to come join us and play games with us and tell stories and be friends with each other. And it's all happening on our Discord and our Twitch channel. So in the Discord, it'll be live 72 hours a day, where you can come in and you can join any of the areas and you can play a game, or you can tell a story or role play or do whatever you like. And it's going to be live for the full 72 hours on the Discord. And the Twitch channel will be the main stage where we'll be doing cool panels, games, and anything else that we can conceive. So it's going to be lots of fun.
Cannot wait.
Now, John agreed to come join us on that and run a game for us, and that's going to be a blast as well. And we've got heaps of people coming to join us for that as well. But it's the very first DreadCon, and I'm hoping in the years to come, this is the one that you don't want to miss because it was the first one. And they're just going to get bigger and bigger. So, yes. Thank you very much, everyone, for playing with me tonight. I know that the character was a little bit, of a
Amazing.
As it was supposed to be.
I love them.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an instigator, but I think that made things fun. So, thank you so much.
No, absolute pleasure as always. Thank you, Mirren. What you doing?
Well, you can find me. Well, I guess Pat will talk more about Saturday. But I will be joining also John again for the second part of our Curse of Strahd campaign, coming back as Esmeralda Devanir along with Michael over there. And it's going to be an interesting start, I suspect, seeing as we ended on an interesting note.
Yes, Strahd has been defeated, locked away, and we shall be continuing on with Esmeralda, Xenicus, and friends, including their new hedge druid friends.
Yes.
Nay, adventurers, as you continue on into our homebrew Ravenloft campaign, Barovia.
So good, you guys.
Barovia and beyond.
Domains of Dread campaign. That sounds so sad.
It's going to be great. Kicking off on the 28th, just before DreadCon. So yes, we will see you there, hopefully.
Halloween.
Okay. Yes, Halloween week. Okay, thank you. And Michael, that's two.
I mean, you will see me in exactly the same place as here, playing Ravenloft and beyond. And then, as I said, we'll see you on Saturday over at Patch's place.
Indeed. Thank you so much. Okay, and yes, I always do a big thank you and shout out to all the lovely guests that we have. But thank you both as well, week in, week out, for all of the good times. Scarlett.
I gotcha.
Oh gosh, so many places. Hi, Scarlett Song here. You can find me on my channel. I'm usually an art streamer and more 2D than I am here. I'm a TNG tuber.
Am I getting this shout out right? It's
Yes, if
Scarlett.
you can.
Scarlett
Song underscore because somebody took Scarlett Song.
Find them.
How
It was
dare they? How
probably
very
possible.
dare they?
Don't worry about that.
So I do art. I also have a Patreon where I create characters every month that you can put into your games. They come with really cool GM aids, like GM character cards.
You'll see some of them on Phoenix Iwaki very soon.
Yes, because I also write an adventure every month and a short story to accompany the character.
And Vicky of Sirenscape fame has chipped in that you also should shout out a certain emote skill that you have.
Oh yes. Oh, are those the emotes I drew in the chat?
Yep.
Oh my gosh! But yes, so I guess I'm an artist. Patreon. Let's see, artist Patreon. I am going to be joining my friends on a new D&D channel, tabletop channel called The College of Inspiration, where a group of 4 bards are going to be telling you stories. Our first adventure is coming up, I think, October 16th. Australia and Japan time. I don't know what that is on the other side of the world. But we are going to be doing the Sanguis Soiree, which is going to be a murder mystery.
Nice.
And I'm playing one of the help. So I hope you join. I've also done the art for all of that one. And last but not least...
Let me do a proper intro for you. Artist, role player, streamer, published author, Scarlett Song.
Next week. I am self-publishing the parody Dungeons & Dragons dating sim that I made for D&D December 2020.
And everyone, just for you, here is a sneak peek.
Yeah, special sneak peek.
Here's a 3D rendering of the book that will be in print itself. It's beautiful. It's so good, so good. So it's like
100% in whip.
Oh yes, absolutely. But so this is going to be it's like a choose your own adventure choose your own adventurer.
Yes, your choose your own adventurer dating sim book. It will be a very limited edition color print run because I'm only doing it while I live in Japan, which is this. But pre-orders open next Tuesday. If you're interested, please check out me on Twitter at Stuff by Scarlett or Instagram on Stuff by Scarlett, or join the Scarlett Song Discord where I do all the announcements. I'm really excited because this is like a super huge act of self-love for me because I was very embarrassed of my romantic side for so long. It is 100% LGBT.
There is
QI plus. QTI. Thank you so much. Friendly. It's just lots of love, and I hope.
Massive congratulations.
Oh yeah,
man. For an adventurer, I love that.
Thank you.
Title alert.
I hope you will join Cal, the Tiefling Bard, Renok, the Lycan Barbarian, Tadian, the Human Wizard, and Megarith, the Dark Elf Rogue, as you try to romance them as the Bard.
Indeed. And I'm just going to leave that playing. Everyone, you can enjoy and hopefully get yourselves a copy of this fabulous looking book. And huge congratulations from all of us here at Phoenix working to Scarlett. It's amazing. So good. Okay, moving on round. Patch, please.
Hi, I'm Patch. I am the guy that does the thing on Quest Junkies UK. You've seen me there. Where on Saturday we return with my homebrew campaign featuring Michael, Merrin, and John, all as players. Brand new to this campaign, the Rodania Chronicles. It's my magnum opus, my labour of love that I still don't know enough lore about and continuously use.
We're all discovering it together.
Sleep. And sometimes take risks, like not planning a session, like last time, and then John sent us to the Shadowfell. So now I have to go to the Shadowfell on Saturday. So that's all good. You you might have seen me once or twice on this channel. As I said previously, I played Lulu, the Celestial Holophant, in the Descent into Avernus campaign. I've guessed another couple of times. I've done one of these before, these wonderful one-shot roulettes that I adore. And you will also be seeing me soon, potentially.
Indeed.
It's brand new, which has been teased and teased and teased and teased. I also do. I'm trying to be a voice actor. I'm also a video editor. I've done a lot of the intro sequences and teasers you've seen on this channel, and yeah, that's me.
That's
Big love.
all that stuff. Okay, thank you so much. And last but not least, I've said it 3 times now. It's definitely not least. It can't be least. I've said it 3 times.
I think the music's a bit loud.
Yeah, I've put it down already. It's
Okay, got it.
Thank you. Elle, please.
Oh golly gosh. Well, first of all, thank you so very much for inviting me along today. I've had an absolute blast. I am Ellie. I'm a bit of a mystery, but I love playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I love playing tabletop. If you like my acting and my characters that I create, you can find me on one of the greatest channels, which is Dreaded GM. I am on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. EST, and also Mondays when I'm on a little holiday.
Taking a vacation, yes.
I'm taking a long service leave from a 3-year campaign. I miss you guys. It's so hard Monday. That's a tangent. There's a lot of love. I've lost my train of thought. I am me. I love making characters. I don't have a Twitch. I don't have an Instagram. I don't have this, but I love you guys. I love playing. I love telling stories. And I just want to thank you all for being a part of this story and just being a part of all of this, because it just makes me so filled with so much joy. Well, thank you, Josh, for introducing me to all these people.
Of course, yeah.
Well, that is a very good point. Something that brings us very nicely. Thank you for the transition there.
Anytime.
Because the entire reason I decided to invite both of you over for this one-shot roulette at this ungodly time of the evening. Thank you both for staying up
It
so
is
late to be with us. I'm
3
sorry.
a.m.
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm
Thank you.
proud. I've stayed awake. Like I'm really good.
Thank you so much. But yes, the reason we asked to do it in this slot, this was the Curse of Strahd slot, and it was the first big raid that Phoenix Ueki ever got during our Curse of Strahd game. Was from a certain dreaded GM, as we were sat there with 2 people in chat watching along. It was that whole, it's like, are you famous yet, son? No, but we've got these 2 nice people here. And then suddenly there were 75 very nice people there. And we were blessed by the storm of mimic hearts in chat for the first ever time. And Josh, just from the bottom of my heart, you have introduced me to so many wonderful people in this space. And
the book's music's too loud. Sorry.
Oh no, the beautiful world.
oh no.
There's so many beautiful words happening right now. I can't hear it.
It's 3 a.m. I'm really emotional.
Thank you, Ranger. Hang on, do I need to do what I need to do?
You can scroll down on your media, and then you'll be able to find the volume for it.
Yeah. I didn't know it had volume.
I didn't know how. I don't remember putting audio
There
in,
we
so
go.
that is also a mystery for me.
Good enough.
Where did you
Sorry.
come from, audio?
Sorry,
Look at the
everybody.
life of its own.
I did not realize. Thank you so much. Okay. Yes. Our first ever raid. Yes, all those long time ago, and you introduced us to so many wonderful people in this space, and as Patch is very kind and very nice to say about us on occasion, Phoenix Ueki would not be what it is without you in the world, sir. And thank you so much.
I love you, man. I really do, John. I'm humbled by that. But I'm gonna say this. This is what we do. This is what I want to do with Dreaded GM, is to lift people up and bring people together to tell cool stories, be creative, and just collaborate. So you've taken the spirit of what I'm trying to do, and you've ran with it. Look at all these people you've brought together. Look at all these people we've brought together. And we can keep doing this. I'm very proud of us all, guys. I'm very proud and humbled. So thank you. And my dear friend Ellie, who's here with me as well. That's been here with me from the start.
You gonna make me cry. You leave me out of this.
I'm not even part of this, and I'm gonna start crying.
That's
But that's the thing, Scarlett. You are now. You are now.
that's what we want our radar, our heart to be, is a symbol of love and collaboration and creativity. And that's probably why a bunch of people have got it tattooed. It's probably why I'm getting it tattooed as well.
Hell yeah.
It's a flag of, hey, let's do this. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and we're gonna have so many smiles. Thank you, John. I will always sit at your table, and I will sit at the table with anyone here. Reach out anytime.
Always an absolute pleasure, and thank you so much. But it is very much time for all of us to say.
What a leave! This cuddle is
the equivalent of a group hug through the internet.
Everyone, thank you so much.
This is literally a whole world hug. That's
absolutely,
cool.
all the way around. And yes, you can find us being first over on Questionkers UK on Saturday, then back here, back in Icewind Dale, to see if there are any after effects of this little soiree that happened today in our Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign. I know for a fact they are heading towards Jarlmut and these stone thrones, so we shall see.
Hype train doggers just everywhere. They populate the entirety of the mountain.
Before we started this evening, I was not aware there was going to be a Brummy anvil in the There we go.
It's so good.
I loved it so much.
We will be in Icewind Dale on Tuesday, down in the Underdark for Out of the Abyss Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, wherever you are in the world, and then that'll bring us round back to the weekend, and we are moving ever onwards towards two wonderful things coming up, as we spoke of with Marin and Michael there. We do have Barovia and Beyond coming soon, but also on the 22nd, before that, we'll be part of the Games Tavern's charity event, and that will also be the first ever episode of Jacinta's Tyranny with the fabulous CZRPG, the writer, and I will announce here for the first time, guesting on that first episode, our friend all the way over in Brazil, the fabulous writer CZRPG, will be joining us for that. You have seen them once before as the little plucky cobalt Waku, and you... Raku. Sorry, Waku was Josh's. And you can see them here once more to join us for that first episode. And speaking of debuts, if I've done it properly, I hope it works okay. I'm also going to show you something from the wonderful patch over there. I am going to show you the opening credits for the first time ever. I just threw it together now because I just had the idea now, so if it doesn't work, I'm very sorry. I shall make it work. You had to get one more, and you had to get one more.
Yeah, definitely.
Did
Okay.
you keep tally?
But speaking of the fabulous CZ over there, Raku, the Kobolds, aka, I need to close up some entries of a certain giveaway. Boom! Here we go. It is closed. The copy of Encounters in the Feywild from the fabulous CZRPG is going to... There's going to be a delay, so it's probably already picked up in chat. Our friend DM Charlie. Yes! You know it's going to a good home. You know it's going to be put to use. Charlie, who I met properly for the first time just the other day as we did some Cobalt Press secret playtesting together.
Hi, Charlie.
That's Charlie. Yeah, that's Charlie. Scarlett was there too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
Congratulations, Charlie. Okay, so that is very good news. Yes, enjoy that. I will send you the link for that very soon. Okay, excellent. Now.
You need that as an emote now, Patch. For no particular reason, just have a sexy goblin.
Sexy goblin.
It's 3 emotes doing this.
All right, everybody. Thank you all so much. But that is all we wrote. And
Thank you.
Until next time, as we like to say around these parts, I hope the trailer works. And
Is that what we say? Is that what we say?
not usually, but today, as we like to say around these parts, oyasumi nasai.
おやすみ。
おやすみ。
いい夢見てね。